Hey everyone, welcome to another Firefly Devs. Today's going to be a totally, completely, awesomely random day today. I have no plan, I have no clue what to do, so we'll just pick up some pieces as we move along. We'll probably dive into the folder with the textures or so, see what materials we want to do. Maybe we'll do some programming. I have no idea, it's just that someone asked like, hey, will you do another dev stream this week? I said, sure, I can do another dev stream this week. So unplanned, let's just see what happens. First thing, let's just open up the project, take a look where we're at. I recall doing the trees as the last thing last stream, so the trees are still the same. We still have the spherical look in the game at the moment. Let's take a look and let's see what's the most important area or what's the most impressive area that we can work on today. So we're just gonna have a blast, see what it is. It's Christmas. I've got my Super Mario Christmas tree, Christmas sweater. Christmas tree. It's not a Christmas tree that I'm wearing. Anyway, oh yeah, so here we are. These are the spherical trees. Good. Of course, many of the materials have now been done, especially a lot of the stones. So the facing bricks now have texture. We've got the cinder blocks in there. Metal is a texture that we could work on. Maybe that's nice. Finally add back some of that plating. One texture that I sort of want to do is the barred steel gate. So the gate with the vertical and the horizontal steel bars. I think that's a very interesting texture to work on with the spherical look to it. Spherical normal map to see what the reflections look like if it's like a proper steel gate. But this is looking good, like the directional lighting, everything is working nicely here. The marble is of course much different compared to a version that we had a few weeks ago. So definitely making some improvements left and right. And I think we're going in the right direction. Yeah, the marble looks pretty spiffy like this. Marble looks pretty spiffy like this. I think Neferspi at night might be a nice look as well. So here we are, Neferspi at night. Temple Guardian just sitting on the chair over there. We've got Zard and over 31, and we've got another guardsman coming in. Hello, you people.
Wow, this is exciting.
One of the more recent additions is this panel texture for the bricks, so that fills up that portion nicely, that sort of part of the build. We've got crates. Crates are also often used, so maybe crate is a nice texture to do. It's wood. We already did a lot of wooden textures as well. Let's take a look inside here. Another thing that's on my mind is the lighting effect, so maybe we can tweak the lighting slightly. Because I think we've got linear fall off for the lights in the game, so maybe we want to go with, what's it called, square root fall off or so that we factor in a power function in there, so that it looks more like natural light. Kind of like increase the contrast between shadow and light a bit. Focus the lights a bit more. But I'm not sure if we're ready for that tweak, that change just yet. Other than that, of course, the macro structure of Neferspi holds up very nicely here. Let's go to a random wonder, see where we end up. The City of Justice by Kamikaze Justice. There's a lot of colored lights, if I'm not mistaken, so let's just walk around. Yeah, all of these crystals, they will give off red light. Due to the way that light works in this new engine, you don't really see the light reflect in a non-natural way, so you will see light come from the bottom here on my dude. So like this, so the light is coming from the bottom, but you will not see the light sort of like flood over the entire landscape anymore. It's only going up into the air.
Like
so
that new treasure smell.
Lighting has definitely changed a lot since the compared to the original version. The auditorium looks very nice. And overall the plan for this is to just keep on working on the textures and on the engine, to just work step by step to make it sort of on par or at least visually finished, well enough to see where we need to tweak things. For now things are looking pretty good. There's a huge marble stairs thing coming into view on the right there. Cinder blocks building.
Looking for this.
One thing I like is the interiors, so if you move inside of a building and are restricted to artificial lights, Everything still looks pretty good. Like it's lit pretty naturally. In an artificial building, okay. Steel vault door. Steel vault door, okay. And here you can see the sun starting to rise. There's a shadow falling onto this wall of bricks. Now overall it just looks like a good mix of realism and cartooniness. Also with the rocks here and the grass. Good, one more wonder. City of Runeterra. Many textures here are already done, especially facing bricks. I like the look of the grooves in the bricks being lit up by the lamps over here. So that's pretty cool, pretty spiffy. We've got a lot of mud here and gravel. So gravel is another texture that's something that we could take a look at. I think these are stables, sort of. I'm a real big fan of this roofing tile texture. It's glossy, the material is glossy and it just looks so good. Let's get up on one of the roofs. Like the way the sun reflects in this and then the shadows sort of negate that specular lighting. I like it, I love them. Also the wooden planks, so for the wooden planks we don't have wood grain in there just yet. And it's a cleanish look. We could always decide to add a bit of wood grain in there. For now I think focusing on the more macro structure of the texture is best. We can more easily add detail than it is to remove it once it's been added. The nails, shiny. And Solomon's Castle. We've seen this quite a few times already. This is wonder number 10 and uses a lot of repetitive bricks, so we can really get a feel for what larger areas of the same texture look like. Also a tree here with the spherical design. It's good, I like it. We could also work on improving that one. Or maybe, because it's Christmas time, we can do the pine trees. These over here. So there's a sort of rudimentary texture on them at the moment. I did this one a few months ago. It's just a few areas or a few polygons with random normal mapping applied to it. But maybe we can go for a more stylized look for the pine trees. If we do spheres for the regular, the deciduous trees, then we maybe want to do a more of conical shape, cylindrical shape, conical, for these pine trees. That was one of my original designs for Angeldust as well, so I think maybe that's a fun idea. So there's a circular tree, which we still need to refine slightly. And maybe we can use a sort of triangular, cylindrical, conical shape for this one. Maybe we'll work on that. Sounds like fun, to sort of see the style come together. Is there any other build? We've got a friend request from over 31. That's nice. Over 31, over. Speaking of the game, on previous live streams the audio might have been sounding a little bit weird. I think Ruan commented on this some time ago. I tried to improve it, so I now set my master clock or my master device to the actual in-game sound, so hopefully that one is not distorted. But I'm not sure what causes it, so there was a bit of wobbliness in the audio. Hopefully that is gone now. Anyway, these trees, very large trees, these spruce trees. Let's see if we can make a texture for them. Sort of cylindrical, conical, like right next to these spheres, might be nice. I like the simpler shapes. I already told you this last time, I like the sort of circular look to these foliage elements. Xanama has a lot of them. So Alexei Makarova used a lot of dense bushes here, and those bushes are all nicely aligned to the vertical orientation of the vertical grid, so they are like perfect spheres. And it just looks so different compared to other games and other styles. Like it, hate it, it is a distinct style. I stand by
Now
this.
we found the loot.
It is a
and
distinct
we're
style.
happy.
Which wonder is it? Where I always go 16? Count with the Vilia? Yeah. So we've got a lot of those pine trees here. Would be a perfect example, or like a perfect build to see what they look like if we redo the texture in a sort of a similar style. So I think that will be our goal. Our goal will be to work on the pine tree texture. Which means that we first take a look at what we've got right now. So artwork production, PBR, objects, spruce, tree, and our current version looks like this. These are 3 texture files. This is the albedo, so the alpha channel. And we have ambient occlusion here and the normal map. And the normal map is basically just a random collection of colors. Of course, these are official normal map vector or normal vector colors, but you can see some layering in it. So there is definitely something going on in layering, but it's basically just randomly colored here. One thing to note is that this texture is sort of slanted, so it just takes up a single triangle, and that's because in the engine, to keep the triangle count down, it's basically mapped as a triangle that's upright. So we need to do we probably make a design that is square, and then we sort of have to slant it and squeeze it into a triangle. We can do that. We can do that. Rain says YouTube doesn't even bother to inform me there's live going in here. Usually lives are on top of the list. Maybe I got shadow banned, I have no idea. I've been streaming too much, maybe Rain, but I'm glad you're here. So stick around for as long as you like. I started streaming without the plan, but the plan has become to make a new spruce tree texture. So that's the Christmas tree in the game. It's very relevant to the Christmas times that we're having right now. Again, I'm wearing a Super Mario Christmas sweater. It's a pretty nice one. I'm not sure if you can see it. If I stand up like this, let's see. Yeah, you can see Mario on there. How do I rotate? Like there you go. It's what we do. It's what we do. Merry Christmas to everyone. Merry Christmas, Rain. Maybe because YouTube isn't informing people, we are not quite picking up too many viewers at the moment, but it doesn't matter. So let's make a let's archive this existing version, and let's try to make something even cooler. So let's make archive folder, and then we call it 2022 because it's still 2022. Hand-drawn normal map. And we move everything in there. So let's open up this thing in a tab, and then we copy everything over, and boom. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to draw a albedo texture, and let's first get a feel of the size of this thing. It's 752 pixels tall. Is that the actual texture size that we're going to be using? Even though we are going to squish it into a triangle, I want to stick to about as much of a similar shape as we can. So, twice as big, 752 by 1505. So we're going to make a new albedo file. So maybe we just remove all of this. Boom, it's gone. What? The files are gone. File, new, 752, 1504. Double check. 752, 1504. Good. And this would be spruce tree. Spruce tree PBR albedo. Boom. There we go. Nice file. It's entirely empty, which is what I like. So we save it in this folder, and boom, bam. Good. So let's first try to get a feel for what this tree should look like, because we can do a displacement map first, but maybe it's nice to work in the albedo for once, so that we get a feel for the shape of the tree first. We want a ruler at the exact midpoint, so that's 752 divided by 2, which is going to be 376. Let's double check. 752, 376. There you go. We can probably also do 752 divided by 2 here in Illustrator, sure. But why do it the simple way when you can do it the hard way? Okay, so we draw a outline. Like basically the shape that we want to go for is this. For the spruce tree. This is basically I think this is basically the shape that we want to go for. Compare it to the cartoon version of this. So documents, artwork production, cartoon, objects, spruce tree. And then look at the variations here. This is the bare version of it, so this doesn't have any needles or any actual foliage on it. Okay. Okay, so here we run into an interesting dynamic where indeed we have to eventually push it into a triangle. But that also means that like the final texture should look like this. Like this. This is basically the final version of the texture. So what's the transformation for this? Once we have the transformation, we can just draw it here and then just slant it over. But how do we do that? Like object, transform, move, rotate, reflect, scale, shear. Is this what we want? And then we shear it minus 30 degrees horizontal. It's experimental, but yeah, this is exactly what we want. Minus 12, minus 13, minus 14. This is almost perfectly straight, and I have no idea why. I'm not sure why we end up at 14, but look at this. This is exactly what we want. It's the entire triangle now covers the left side of the quad. So that's the technique we can use, and basically this becomes our canvas. So this is basically the canvas silhouette. Let's call it canvas or a silhouette. Silhouette, and then let's just add 14 degrees shear so that we always know it's 14 degrees. Why? I'm not sure. So maybe that's got something to do with mass. So if we take half, because I think the canvas is twice as wide as it is, or twice as tall as it is wide. So maybe we just do the arctangent thing, 26.5. No, it's not 14. Doesn't matter. We're gonna draw some sort of shape here. What I want this to be conical, so we've got a cone shape already going on here with this triangle, but I want to add layers in this. Make it a bit more visually interesting, because a triangle, a cone, or a plain cone isn't going to look super cool. So let's create an anchor point up here, and I think we want to have 3 layers or so. See what I'm going for? So like this, and then we have another layer like over here, and then like this, except different. And then we do another layer over maybe here near the bottom, like this. And then we sort of finish it up in the center. And then we close the shape. Okay, looks like a perfect Christmas tree. We want these handles to be sharp. So let's go with sharp here. And then zoom in a bit. And now I sort of want to have a handle on here. I want to have two. I want to have 2 anchor points. Or like, I want to tweak the shape. Please let me. I can drag it. That's good. But I want to... I want it to be sharp, so I can tweak the shape of it. Like they're currently symmetrical, which is very nice, but it's not what I want. Is there any Illustrator guru in here who can help me? Hey Soda, how are you doing? Soda, we chose a very Christmassy subject. I'm trying to make a spruce tree, like the Christmas tree in the game. See if we can make a better shape for it. Yet, I'm battling with the tools here. I want these anchors to be asymmetrical. Where's the button for that? I can make a corner point. I can make them smooth. Show handles for multiple points. Remove. Cut them. It looks like a Christmas tree already. Indeed. But I want to make it layered, sort of like this. So it's got multiple layers to it. And then we'll use it for displacement. But Illustrator is fighting me. I also have a Christmas sweater with Mario on it. Should I stand up one more time so you can see my Christmas sweater? Here, check this out. Here we go. Here we go again. Oh yeah. It's got the coins on there and the 8-bit Mario. It's just... I like it. So good. Anyway, right, so it looks like... It looks like a tree, but maybe we just use a different technique for this. So we make circles and we cut circles out of it. Is that a good idea? It could work, but we have to center them or like right on here, and then we drag them onto there, and then we... like this, and then we minus front it. And then it doesn't work because we're in different layers. It's something, it's something. I know exactly what I want, I just can't seem to draw it here. Like this looks good. This looks good. So then how do we get it back into the tree? Like this? And then we do it like this? It's definitely a Christmas sweater, indeed. It's got something to do with the fact that it's almost Christmas. It's starting to look a lot like Christmas here. Like as always, we just do it like this and then we try to clean it up. Let's see. We pick up this anchor point, move it outwards, and then we pick up this anchor point and move it outwards. Good! This is exactly what I wanted. When I woke up this morning, this is what I wanted to see on my screen. Come on! Everyone knows what I'm trying to draw here. Everybody just knows what I'm trying to draw here. It's just that Illustrator is acting dumb here. Everybody knows what I'm going for. I want a Christmas tree. Come on, give it to me. Okay. Hey, not hating, not hating. So we're basically looking, let me use a different color here. So we're looking to make it a bit more flavorful. We're getting there, we're getting there. It looks good. Hey, you look good. So we need to, the one trick that we have is, or the one constraint that we have is we need to stay within the black triangle. So that's pretty nice. And then here, okay. So one thing I'm worried about is that this might look too good, basically. Like instead of using mathematical equations for this, we're now actually drawing a nice tree. And I'm not sure if that's what we want. Now the question is, do we want this point to be like super low so that it sort of hangs very low? Is this nice? Maybe a bit more, like inwards? Yeah. And then we sort of want a bit of symmetry, so maybe move this up. Okay, and now we need two of them. At least we let's just run with something. Let's use this. So we make this white. Overall though, should we move this entire portion downwards slightly? Not exactly what I had in mind. We want to have this nice feeling of symmetry. Too much. Good. I can live with it. So then we make a copy of this and we reflect it vertically. Boop. Then we make sure that the right side of it is at the center line, 376. And this one should be 376 as well. Okay, so now, does this look good, or do we dislike it all of a sudden? I think we maybe want to add a bit more body to it. Or don't we? Do we want to make it even thinner? I feel that there's a bit of a disconnect going on here. Near the bottom. But maybe I'm seeing ghosts. Maybe I'm seeing ghosts. What happens if we disable the background and make it black? It looks good. It does look pretty good. If you look at the side profile here, this looks pretty good. One moment. Yo. Okay, not bad. Good start, I could say even. So then we select this layer. We make the tree white again because this is the albedo. It's just going to be white. Then we just call this individual shapes. Make a copy. So we call this joint shape. Sheeped. Joint shape. Hide this one. And then we select them both and we join them. Boom. How about those apples? Yeah, see this center point or this midpoint? We can move it upward. Not sure if I just did the entire thing. And then this one needs to be on the artboard too. Okay, so perfect. That's the joint shape. And now we need to apply that weird slanting effect. Don't ask me why. Also, let's check if we have to include the upper half of the triangle. Yep, we need to. Otherwise we will not see any branches in the world. So this is the joint shape. We copy it one more time And then we call this the sheared shape. Shear. What's the conjugation of this? Break require stream produced by pressure. Yeah, okay, that's good. And then what's the it's all good. We'll just call it sheared shape. It's good. It's good. I'm not worried about any of this. And then it's a good idea, though. Object transform shear minus 14 degrees. Boop. Is this what we want? It looks a bit nutty. What happened? What if we copy it with the blue or the black thing in there as well? So let's make it red. So this is the one that we're going to shear. And then we do it one more time. Shear minus 14 degrees. Boop. Okay. And then we move it all the way to the edge. I'm strangely comfortable with it, as they say. So let's remove the red portion. Then we want to have the other. It's slanted. Yeah, that's. It's the way the texture is laid out. It's slanted because it's more efficient in the engine. It's branch placeholder triangle. So this is going to be a triangle in the upper right corner. Right here, right here, right here, boom. And then we fill it up. Let's see, 752 by... Why do I have to babysit this program? It's... You pay a ton of money for it and then you have to babysit it. There you go, that's good. It's in the corner. This is in the corner, that's good, and then we just scroll down. Let's use scroll bar instead. And this one, this point is in the corner too. Good. White, boom. Save it. Super nice. Wow. I like it, I love it. Spruce tree variations, albedo, boom, save it. If we fire up the game, or if we first convert the texture, that's a pretty good idea. Foliage, boom. The tree will probably look slightly funky, but we'll get a feel for the albedo shape at least. So we go into Angeldust, Angeldust artwork, textures, PBR, game world, and then we convert foliage, not small, but the real foliage. Let's see this one, boom. Here we go. I'm interested to see what this looks like. Wonder number 16, Countworth de Villa. It's about the shape, so not what it looks like, it's about the shape now. Ooh, it's very hard to deduce what it looks like. Yeah, you can see the... So don't look don't look at the coloring of it, but look at the overall feel of it. You may not look at the detail in it. It's about the shape. The normal map we'll take care of in a few moments. Yeah. It looks good. Yeah, sort of. So one thing that you notice is that the billboard sort of goes through these bricks. I'm not sure if that's a new problem or a new cool thing that we just added. Overall though, it is pretty good. Now I'm wondering what's that green thing that's in between. See, there's some sort of green thing sticking out. What's up with that? See, there's this green... That might just be a bush or something that's standing on the grass? A fern. It's probably a fern. Okay, so overall the tree shape is pretty good, but maybe it can be better. It looks icy. Yeah, these are icy. You're entirely right. So maybe it should be the other way around. Let's go back. It's another one of those streams where we have to figure out how this works. So I kind of want to have a more of this feeling that you have these hanging branches. Like have a way more this effect. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. So that you have a overhang. Well, overhang, I'm not sure what the word is, but you get the idea. So the branches, they are hanging somewhat like this. This is even better. This is even better. Let's see if we can manage to make everything look like that. So we move this point upwards. Yeah. This is getting closer to a to the tree shape that I think I want. Let's just keep it simple. But I feel in real life you have the branches that are like hanging like this, and there are several layers of them. The shape we had before was pretty good, but it was just a bit different compared to what a real tree looks like. Now this one's going to be rather difficult. Or we have to move this point upwards. And then make this hang lower. Now don't mind the aesthetics just yet. We'll get there, we'll get there. See, this gives of a way better Christmas tree vibe. Somewhat like this. I think it's this gentle sort of hook shape that you get in there. I think that's what makes it a Christmas tree. We kind of want to make this line smooth as well. Like the inner edge of all those things. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. Like that. See you later. Don't work too hard, like it's Christmas time almost. Says the person who's also at work here. Yep, okay. Enjoy the weekend in advance, by the way, as well. Alright, let's see if we can make this work. Thank you. I will. It's one thing to get the shape to look right on one side, but once you start copying it, it's a whole thing altogether. A whole new thing altogether. Okay, copy this layer, duplicate, boom. What we can do is make sure that the individual shapes are already, this individual thing is already properly setup. Because I think this point is still, yeah, it's as y is 2, so let's do y1. This looks good, except it's slightly over the, 1 toke over the line here. Better. Then we move on to the next one, which can go slightly wider. That. And then here we have one last. Pretty good. And this one is, let's just align it at a pixel value. Something like that. Okay, good. I like it. Copy. We can already get a feel for what it looks like if we reflect it vertically, boom, and then on the center line. The idea is pretty good. If we disable the background for a moment and then just make it like this. The idea is pretty good, except it lacks a bit of structure. So I think we need to go with 4 levels, 4 layers instead of 3. 3 levels might just be a bit too optimistic. I'm not sure what the original tree has got. Yeah, it's a bit of a, like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a good idea, it's a good shape, except it needs 1 more layer of detailing to flesh out the body a bit more, and so we don't get this gap near the bottom. So let's try that. So maybe to help ourselves, we just... there's also people still working outside, so maybe you can hear this, but there's a lot of construction work still going on. Okay, let's do it again. So we had a 1504 canvas size, so we just divided by 4, and then we just perfectly spread out this stuff. Uh, 1504 minus 376. There we go. So let's see, 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer, 4 layer. And then the bottom is slightly more connected. So let's start with the anchor point here. Let's boop. Or maybe, wait. Maybe our guide is already misplaced over here. Now this one's good. That one's good. This one's good. Okay, no problem. One more time. We start at the top. Like that. Then we make our thing, go inwards and upwards, then we make a thing, we go inwards and upwards slightly, then we make another thing, go inwards and upwards slightly, then we make our last layer here, inwards and then we go inwards and downwards here. Keep it like this. Let's make this straight line, and then we go back to the top. Boom. Okay, it's a start. It's a start for sure. Make this a corner, make this a corner. Now maybe for aesthetic reasons or for texture consistency, we do want to have this one aligned at the bottom of the texture, so that we at least cover the entire triangle. And now we just need to refine the shape. Just refine the shape. And I think we had our anchor points oriented like this last time, so let's rotate those slightly. And then work from there. Okay. Now the important part is that we need to stay within the gray background. We end up like this. And we need to decide if we want to have a large overhang or if it's more subtle. Like we can do it like this. Like where do you take it? I think these top two look pretty good. You could also imagine that the lower the branches are, like the thicker the layers are, the more support they have, so they would be more horizontal than the ones above. So I think this is a better shape than the more vertical oriented one. Now this might be a bit too low. Let's see if we can make it somewhere slightly near the guide that we have. Okay. And then this one. Not sure what this one should look like. Probably not like this. But this is nicely fleshed out in a way. Yeah, it's really a matter of, do you want it to have an overhang like this? We can do it, but then maybe we have to add another anchor point in between to make the shape slightly more user-friendly. So we add one here. I want this anchor point to be at the absolute center bottom of the texture. And then it's a matter of tweaking this shape slightly. Something like that. Remove it. It does need a bit of an angle to it. It's not really nice if it's like really squarish. I want to add a bit of thickness here. Okay, sort of what I want. Are we getting somewhere? Slightly. I removed the guides, or at least I hid them to try and find something like a shape that works nicely visually, because apparently we don't want perfect mathematical geometry. We also need to take a look at the aesthetics. And I think this is pretty good, starting to look pretty good. So let's copy over the shape, let's reflect it for a moment. See what we end up with. Okay, okay. There's there's a problem in the sense that we didn't start at the exact center, so we do have a bit of a weird line in the center here. Other than that, the shape is pretty decent. I think it's much better than what we had before. There is a bit of a disconnect in the way that all of the layers come together. So maybe it needs a bit more body here. Yeah, that's better, that's better. Maybe slightly more even. Like that, okay, sure. And then we move these out as well. That's pretty good, that's pretty good. I don't like the way that this angle looks though. So is that better? There's a bit too much tension in this, I feel. This one doesn't have enough tension. So people are absolutely demolishing my house, or what's going on? Come on. Double checking all of these anchor points to make sure that they're in the exact right place. So this one is good, and I think the top one was good as well. So why do we get a disconnect when we mirror it? It's a bit of a weird problem. Reflect. Vertical. So maybe we just put the right side of it to trees, and there we go. Good, does it look like a Christmas tree? It does, it does. But there's a bit of a disconnect in the way that the tree flows. And it's subtle. I mean, you wouldn't notice if I didn't tell you about it, but this pointy thing, this point, the second from the top, is a bit too pointy. So how do we fix this? We could move this point downwards, yeah, like that. Less pointy. How pointy should it be? Like this? Is this like perfect? Is this good? Let's see what happens. It's pretty decent. Let's run with it. Let's just go. So this is the individual shape. Then we copy the layer. And maybe we can just use one, like we already made this sheared shape. So we copy it over, reflect. 376, join it up, boom, single shape. It doesn't quite connect exactly to the edge, but that's good because we have a bit of a different shape to it. Then we can copy over the canvas example, place that in there, give it a different color, select all of it, shear and -14, boom, to the left, remove this one, hide this one, boop, make it white, and then we can save it. It looks like a Christmas tree in the preview, but will it look like a Christmas tree once it's in the game? We have no idea. So maybe I should disable some of the normal mapping and stuff, because the normal map is messed up. Alright, so we look at the outline of the tree and not so much to the detailing. There is a bit of a... No, there's not a bit of a, so that's good. I think it very closely matches the shape that we drew in Blender, in Illustrator, sorry. So happy with that. Okay, now we have the problem of the normal map being suboptimal. So now we want to turn this into a displacement map, which is nice. We can save a copy. And we can call this Spruce Tree PBR displacement, and we do it like that. Displacement again is, remember, a map that tells the engine or the 3D tool Pixplant that we're using how raised or how lowered certain parts of the texture are. The thing to keep in mind here is that if we have this tree shape, we also want to add volume to all of the layers, basically. So we can work from the individual shape, reflect, and then shear it again, like we did with the albedo, or we can just use the albedo directly. Except I think we want to work differently here. Let's copy the shape, reflect, and then we place it 376 like this. We join it so we have a single shape again. So this is basically the albedo before it was sheared and like crammed into a single triangle. And now we want to have two different effects going on. For one, we want to have this look circular, so we want to apply the circular gradient to this. So let's open up the circular thing, open recent files. We can just open it on disk. PBR or reference files, circular displacement. Boom, this. This is basically the gradient profile that we want to apply to the tree. So let's make a copy here. This is slightly slightly too simple because now only the bottom part is rounded, sort of, and this is almost not rounded near the top. But we want to have the effect applied everywhere, basically, from the sides to the center. So how do we approach this then? It is what we want, but we want to stretch the gradient basically across the entire horizontal width of the tree. A different approach could be that we make the tree black or white, yeah, white, and then we use an inner glow, see what that looks like. So we inner glow with black, normal, preview. And then we just blur it a lot. this has the disadvantage that the top portion of the tree, the tip of the tree, disappears entirely, in the sense that it's not going to have a lot of displacement to it. So basically this is a big-bellied tree all of a sudden, and the top portion doesn't have any volume to it. And if we combine them, so if we do both the gradient as well as the inner glow, let's see, and then we do the inner glow as a multiply. That doesn't really make a big difference. Merry Christmas! We are working on the Christmas tree. Join me in our quest for a good Christmas tree space circus. It's a bit of a random topic that came up today, but let's just run with it. Christmas trees aplenty. Ooh, so if this is the thing, if this is it, then how do we do it? I'm trying to get a feel for how we would approach this problem. We basically want this gradient, but it should be applied to this shape. How do we do it? How do we do it? It cannot be done. What we can do, however, is something else entirely. What if we approach the problem differently? So instead of doing it like this, we remove the inner glow. I mean, that's basically a fake effect anyway. We can cut the tree into pieces. Which direction does the gradient need to go? This is basically a circle displacement map, a circular displacement map, and we want this entire tree to be round. The problem that we have now is that only the bottom portion of the tree has the entire range of the gradient applied to it. So what I think we can do, or what we need to do, is to apply it piece by piece. So we cut up the tree into 4 pieces, exactly at these inner points, and that will also help with the displacement map in and of itself, because we can apply another linear gradient so that we can also make it taper out to the sides. So we need to cut up the tree. Like the albedo map for the tree is good, so in Texture Packer here we have a nice outline of the tree. It looks like a Christmas tree, pretty good. Of course there will be many people who might not like it, but we just work layer by layer. So let's call this bottom layer. How do I do this? I make a temporary layer, boom, hide it. And then we cut it off here at these points. We just have this as, there's a knife tool, I believe. Knife, knife, knife. Knife, 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 help. Knife. Palette knife, no, that's not what I want. Scissors. Scissors. Nope. Can I just draw a line then from here to there? And then cut it on the line? Cut, cut, cut. Nope. Outline. Crop, merge, trim, divide. Boom. Hey. Okay, bottom portion, good. Ooh la la, Merry Christmas. Hey Amelia. Hey, you're old-fashioned minded, right? You're old-fashioned minded. Check it out. I've got a Super Mario Christmas sweater. It's just what I do. Check this out. I've been doing this all day. Check out the Mario over here. Where is it? There. There you go. It's Christmas. Merry Christmas, you all. Good. So now we have the bottom layer. This is the radial gradient thing, but now it also needs to have a other thing. One moment. Why is this all a group? I want to ungroup everything. Ungroup all the things. Path, that's good. Now do we also have that weird line? No, we don't have the weird line. I'm trying to create a Christmas tree here. It's too much work. And still we do it. Okay, and this needs to be a simple gradient from white to black. So let's just do white like this. And then we add black to it. Except things are never that simple. Yo, this is what I want. And then it needs to be multiplied. And then it doesn't need to be this dark. So instead of black we use 128. Sort of the halfway point. Supposedly this is correct. This is the bottom layer. And also, please tell me we were working in the wrong file. So what happens if we throw this into Pixplant? I want to get a feel for what the dimensionality is here. Open displacement. This one. Boom. Right. Okay, so ignore the weird stuff. We have something going on. There's something going on. Okay, that's good. So there's definitely a bit of things going on. Right, so because we have a linear gradient, the vertical displacement itself isn't that rounded. But seen from the bottom, we do have a bit of a round shape to it. So we are somewhat close, at least, to having a shape that resembles a tree. Now we just need to do this a few more times for all of the different parts. And we could imagine that maybe our layering will be slightly different for those raised parts, but let's go. So this is the bottom layer, so, or let's call this layer 4, and now we go to layer let's call it cone 4, because layer is the default name for a layer in Illustrator. Copy the tree. And now we need to cut it again, except we cut out part 3 here. So we take this layer, boom, and then we take this layer, boom, then we hide layer or cone number 4, then we split everything, I think it was called divide, like this. And then we can remove the bottom part, we can remove why? I want to cut it. You cannot cut it. Why can't we cut it? This and this. Cut it into pieces. Do it now. Nope. So now what do we do? We can start removing anchor points. I mean, that's one of my greatest passions in life. Sure. And now we apply the gradient one more time, the radial circular thing. And the idea is that this now, but it doesn't. The idea is that you would see the black pop up at the sides here. And I don't know why it doesn't show up yet. So we can investigate. So let's remove the gradient like this. And then we add the gradient again. Yeah, so it's a bit more circular this way. And then we add another gradient on top of this. So copy, paste. And then we go back to a simple gradient. Like that, rotate it 90 degrees. Sometimes I'll cut using Object Pathfinder with InDesign. Yeah. Yeah. So now we have two layers. Linearly thingamajigged, but that's not a problem. So let's see what we end up with the gradient here. So this is 128, so we can move this one closer to the camera. So 192, 192, 192. And then we can do this one, layer 3 at 160, for instance. 160, 160, 160. And then maybe it isn't as close to the camera as this, but 224, 224, 224, just to add a bit of layering inside of the cones. They're not like cones, but it's what we call them. So let's keep checking in Pixplant what this looks like. Close all. See if we get the layering right. Yeah, so layer 3 is definitely on top of layer 4 here. Can I? Oh, I can drag the camera like this. We do have circular displacement going on in the circle part. That's good. And like once we extract ambient occlusion from this, it looks totally weird because of reasons. Probably because the texture has got alpha applied to it. So let's, like, everything is messed up now. Smooth. Yeah, this already looks better. This already looks more like a tree, something that we're working on. Ambient occlusion. Okay, so we have a bit of depth going on there. The thing I'm looking for mostly is to have the inner or the darker edge between the layers, because we want to simulate shadow falling between the layers. And I think this works pretty well for that. So, not sure if I like the overall look of this too much, but I think we can continue this process and see what we end up with. So basically, if I go to Countworth one more time.
Oh, no time to waste, let's go.
16. So I'm pretty happy with the shape of the tree. We're now trying to get the shading to look better. So we still have the hand-drawn normal map in here, which makes it look slightly weird. Very weird. And we sort of want to go with that same spherical or more rounded look that we have for the other trees now. And it's a very Firefly-ish shape for the tree, but I like it so far. It's got these nice hanging layers to it. So let's start doing cone 2. Cone 2. We copy the floppy, paste it in there, and now we need to work on this portion. So maybe we cut it in two goes. So we intersect it here like that, and then we just bada bing bada boom divide it, so we can remove the bottom. It's a nice try, Firefly. There used to be a scissors tool, and it's probably still there, but I can't find it at the moment. There used to be a knife tool or something. Like where is it? Pencil tool? Path eraser? Scissors tool. C. Here we go. So we cut from here to there. Boom. Did this even work? And we cut from here to there. Okay, that's a bit too optimistic. So we do it again. C. Nope. We definitely did cut something. Portions of the tree are now gone. I mean, we did end up with something here. Good job, good job. But there's also a knife tool, so let's select the knife tool. It was under this menu, knife tool, here we go. It looks very menacing. Knife tool. Okay, it also works, except you can't control it. You can't select an anchor point to cut it. Scissors tool. So why this works? I truly believe that we got rid of the bottom part of the thing, but why doesn't it work for the top part? Cut from here. See, it starts cutting weirdly, as if it remembers that we were here before. So do we use the pen tool to close the shape first, and then we cut it from here to there? Yeah, that's a trick. So we can use the knife, we can use the knife. And then we anchor point this to that. There we go. Good. It's rounded. Now we need to add the linear gradient on top of it. Can I color pick it from the other one? Sure. So we move the front portion slightly back, 192. Then we move the top portion back as well. So let's go with 128, 128, 128. Basically simulating the effect of this being slightly more in the background. There's a 1 pixel gap here. Does it show up if we export? Doesn't. Good. So that's cone 2, and then we have the top cone. Cone 1. Copy the shape one more time. Now we need to, of course, still shear it, share it, shear it, share it. This yellow color is very nice to work with, but I want to go with a different one. Let's select magenta. Better. At least I can see what I'm doing. Cut, cut. Remove this. Good, it's got the circular displacement on it. Now we copy it, paste it, linear gradient on it, and then we move this one in the back, 160, 160, 160. And we can use 96 or so for the top portion. Good. We got something. Let's throw this into Pixplant, see what we end up with. Close all. Hey, it looks like a Christmas tree. I mean, that's the least we could get out of this. Let's smooth it a lot. There is a bit of layering going on. The layering could be a bit stronger even. But I'm not complaining. The normal map is a bit funky in places because of reasons. Like this one is nicely angled downwards. This one is half downwards, half upwards. As if Pixplant thinks that parts of this cone are above the other one. Could be due to the smoothing that we do. Still, it's decent. It's decent. What I want to do though is use the entire range of colors for the displacement map. So we have 255 here. this 255 to 192. Okay, so this one should be lighter than 192, which it is. And then we can probably make this darker in the center, 128. There we go. And then this one should be maybe 180, 180, 180 at the brightest. And then 64 at the darkest. And then this one should be lighter than 64, which is very much is. So let's go with 128 here. And then the top could be like very dark, 888. So it has a bit more layering to it. Deeper layering. We can close Photoshop, we don't need this. Close all. Again, just trying to get something that looks good. Yeah, there's definitely more layering going on here. That's pretty nice. You could say that the bottom layer might be steeper. And then the second layer isn't steep enough or so. It's all smoke and mirrors, but we want to use good smoke and mirrors. So maybe we make this one deeper as well, and then this one is 96, and then we can make this one stick out a bit more, I think. This one is a 224, so maybe we move this one to 206. Nope. Then this one can stick out to 180. Okay, that's good. That's good. And then the center is at 64. Right. 128. 8. Because what we really want to have is to have the side profile match the front profile. But that's never gonna happen because it's physically impossible to get that to work. Still, we shouldn't let ourselves be discouraged for just trying something. There's a bit of a weird thing going on with this second layer. See, there's as if it's recessed somewhat. Like the circular profile doesn't really shine through entirely. Is it steeper than a steeple for all the Christmas people? Yes, very much, very much so. What's up with the second cone? The second cone just doesn't adhere to any logical rhyme or reason here. Still, there is nothing weird going on with that. Though you can see some asymmetry here. There's definitely some asymmetry going on. Oh, this is layered incorrectly. There, it should be at 90 degrees. Like the harsher gradient was going from left to right instead of top to bottom. 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. And the top one is also incorrect, 90 degrees. There we go, that's it. It's a very minor tweak, but you can instantly see the depth come to life here. Oh, you need to pay close attention, 007. There we go, there we go. Now the layers are nicely stacked. Now we smooth out the normal. There we go, now it comes to life. That's it, that was it. Alright, so the one thing that I don't like about this is that we have this very rigid linear profile to the cones. But you know what? Let's run with it for now. We've got layering. The layering is correct now, at least seems seemingly correct. And now we come to the problem of having to do stuff. because now we need to make sure that these textures are also sheared, just like we do with the albedo texture. And I'm not sure if we can do that in Illustrator or not. So basically we have to compress this texture into a triangle, like we did before. So the idea is good. We have a nice Christmas tree here. That's what I like. Or we need to tweak or update the model file so that we can just use the triangle that's in this square texture. That might be the better solution. But then we have to update all of the models. Still though, let's save this out as a normal map. Spruce VBR normal. Not just yet for production, so we will have to tweak this slightly. We also extract the ambient occlusion, just like that. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a bit funky because we don't have the background defined here. It's also something I ran into with the other foliage, so maybe we have to make a background. Background. The idea is nice to have a gradient background, but I think we just have to go with a black background here, which would also imply that the top cone should go to 0, like merge into the background. Do we want this? I think it's about the best we can do. So it's probably not going to make a difference. Now everything is messed up again. Discard. Whoop. It's probably the exact same thing as what we already had, but just to make sure, I'm saving these again. Extract ambient occlusion, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's the exact same thing. Right, so now the trick, what we need to do is to fold the normal map into this half triangle, and also do the same with the ambient occlusion map, while also adding the material definitions. Good luck to all of you. We can make a new file. Let's do this naively, and then we place the normal map in here. I mean, so far so good. And now we need to make sure that this point, or like the triangle, gets stretched into the thing. So we used a shear of -14. So far so good, I would say. Again, like, I'm not hating it. Oh, we need to make sure that the dimensions are absolutely spot on. 752 by whatever, and then exactly in the center, object, shear this horizontally -14. Then we somehow need to move this point over a bit. Yep, I think it's just aligned to the right bottom here. Now, it does sort of like adhere to the left side of the texture edge there. Not sure if this is going to work, but let's run with it. And I do want to rename the file normal base. Replace. Because otherwise we get a naming conflict. Then we need to make a second layer for the background. Background, boom. This needs to be a neutral normal map color. And maybe we can color pick it from this one. Yeah, color picker doesn't work on this setup. So what's the neutral value for this? 127, 127, 255? It is very close. 128, 128, 255? We can check in Photoshop. Because the X and Y are neutral, so that's 127 or 128, and then the normal is pointing towards the camera, which is 255 for blue. Okay, it uses 127. And we can do that. I mean, there we go. It's already done. So all of a sudden we have a normal map Illustrator file, but it's because we share this texture. And hopefully this looks good. There's a bit of banding going on here. I hope that doesn't give us a problem. The Leaning Tower of Teresa. It's true, it's true, it's a good joke. Hey, it's there, come on, we did something. Publish, and let's see what this looks like. If we can use the same technique for the ambient occlusion / material map.
Oh, no time to waste, let's go.
This should get rid of the weirdly drawn details in some of the parts. Okay. It's definitely got depth to it, and it's definitely got something going on. That's good. It's got the layering in it. Not sure about the ambient occlusion, so if you have a face that is in the shadow area, it should look a bit weird or something. It's a fun shape. That's the initial reaction. It's a fun shape. I think it complements the spherical look of the other trees pretty nicely. The layering effect might be a bit too steep here, though. So I'm not a super fan of that layering effect, because it sort of takes away from the clean look that we had before. But let's get the ambient occlusion map going first, and then see what it looks like. So it might be a bit steep, but other than that, it's pretty cool. I mean, you would expect it to look somewhat like that. Maybe we need to round off the bottom a little bit, so that it's a bit, maybe it's a bit too much of a horizontal line at the moment, while you would expect it to be sort of a hanging line. Random wonder. B-boy, does this have any pine trees, spruce trees? I ain't seen nothing yet. This looks pretty fun. The mushroom house to the right, and then all of these spherical trees next to them. Don't worry about it. We are definitely going in a direction. The village has got a lot of trees, which I know for a fact. There you go. Yar. It looks best like this, when you look at it head on, right in between two faces. I think then the shape comes to life pretty nicely. It's a bit flat if you look at it this way. So if you look straight on the texture, it's a bit flat-ish and weird maybe. Though it does give you some lines, Maybe we can exaggerate the rounding effect slightly more. And then we're Gucci. Because that's what we want. We want to have the roundedness in there. I mean, here, I don't mind them. It looks good. Of course, ignore the 1 pixel, sort of 1 pixel artifact line that's going on in between the textures. Sort of like a fish line or a closed line. We'll fix that. Super Summer is known for the trees as well. Here's one, 2 even.
Nothing like that new treasure smell.
3 even. Alright, so we have the beginning of something good. Now we make it great. The trick works, so this file can be saved, we can reuse this. We might want to tweak the displacement though. So how do we approach this? We want to move the rounding more inwards. And it's a bit dumb because like this is our gradient. It's so many stops. I can't just start moving them inwards or something. So then, what is the solution? Also, if you think about it, it's not really a circular shape. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Isn't it? Because yeah, okay, so we do add the gradient on top of it. Yeah, okay, so it is circular. It is circular. I mean, it's not bad. If you see it in Pixplant like this, it's not bad. It's just that the linearity, I'm not sure if that's a word, it makes it look like the roofing tiles. So maybe we just have to add a bit of a profile to the vertical gradients. Does Illustrator have a gradient feather tool? Would that work? It could. There is a gradient feather, or at least there's a feather effect as well, stylized feather over here. So that might be an approach as well, but I think maybe we just want to add some more stops in these gradients so that we have a steeper angle at the top and then a more horizontal portion below that. So this one goes to 255 to 128, so that's exactly from halfway to whatever. So let's add a stop right in the center, and then we act as if this one is way closer to the camera than it actually is. So let's go to 224 here, so that we get a... It's the other way around. This one should be more in the background. So let's make this 160. So it's way steeper and then it sort of becomes horizontal. It's a good comment though, saying like, hey, feather, like the more tools that you try to use, the wider like your tool arsenal, the better results could be. It's subtle, but you can see a bit of a more, like it's not as linear anymore. And you can see it in the normal map too. Like this bottom part is definitely a different color, so it's angled more upwards. There is a lot of linearity going on in it though, so it is very linear, this effect. But going with 4 stops, like you could go with an infinite amount of stops there. Still though, we save it out and see what that looks like. It does add some nice touches here to the ambient occlusion. Because this is the problem, because we're not working with actual 3D data, it's all a bit finicky, like we have to emulate the look. And if I had like 1,000 artists working on these textures, it would be nice. You could say like, hey, please work it out, make it work, do it perfect. Unfortunately though, I don't have that many artists working on it. It's just me. There's a bit of extra detail in there now. And maybe that might just be enough. Like maybe you don't need super duper circular effects. Let's go to Counterworth to Julia one more time. Yeah, there's a bit of a fold in there now. It feels folded. So it does something. That's cool. It does something. But is it what we want? Like, you can see the fold in the bottom cone. We should definitely try to get that ambient occlusion working first. So let's not focus on this. Like only, let's do the other portion as well. So new, so yep, that's good. We make a square. And the square is not albedo mixed, not that, and not that. So that's the color of it. I hate ambient occlusion, Bag says. Why do you hate ambient occlusion? Tell me. Enlighten me. It's not a screen space effect we're talking about here. It's the effect of the texture. Oh, this is the wrong tree. You are barking up the wrong tree. Place it. Face it. Shear. -14. Oh, sorry. First we need to make it perfectly sized. 1504. In the center of the thing. Object. Shear. 14 degrees. And now we place it over there. That's good, my dear. And then we also need to have a gold mining pan. Now we need to add some anchor points. Like in some games, ambient occlusion is definitely overdone, so you don't want to overdo it. And there's also a lot of games these days have a fake HDR, which is also not my favorite. Ambient occlusion makes Unreal Engine looks weird. Everything is shiny in wrong places and dark in others. Yeah, like some games overdo it. It also, this sort of HDR mixing effect, like all of the characters and the weapons that you carry, they have this black outline. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. It's this weird, fake, what shall I call it? It's a weird fake effect. You can't unsee it. It's just everywhere. And it's to balance out the dynamic range of the image, they say. But then I say, like, why don't your artists pay closer attention to the way that the materials interact and the way that things look? But hey, we have our ambient occlusion in here now, so let's hate it.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
We go to Countworth. Okay, with the ambient occlusion updated, the lines are much cleaner. And this starts to feel like the other trees now. It feels like they are more like brush strokes now. And again, the closed lines, the very tiny pixel edges that you see, we can remove those. But it's a look for the trees. It's much closer to the style of the other things. Compare the facing bricks here, like this wall. Compare it with the trees in the background, for instance. Much better. A bit cleaner, like looking. I don't mind that vegetation looks like background stuff. It very much is. Except, what kind of tree is this then? Like, why does it... Bear spruce tree. Okay, so that's a thing that we don't have at the moment. It's pretty nice, it's pretty cute. Again, once you look at it from this angle, it's the best. Once you see a bit of detail in all of the different faces, that's good. Once you look at it straight on, it's a bit flatter, but that's just what happens. So now then, how do we approach the problem of making it look like this, without folds, because folds are not nice. Like, I don't like the fold effect that we get here. The idea is good to make the lighting look nicer, but the fold is a bit too harsh. It's too noticeable, so we need more stops in there. But we also need to make sure that we can reuse that work for the upper portions, because I'm not going to draw 1,000 stops in all of those gradients. It's not what I want. But the layering itself works pretty well. You definitely see that there are bottom-lit portions to the trees now. So instead of being like super flatly shaded, we have these areas, for instance, where this lantern is close. Pixel zoom, watch out. But you see that this bottom rim is now shaded by the lantern below it. It's a nice effect. It adds a bit of depth to the flat texture. And in the background, I like the effect as well. So let me pixel zoom one more time. It's hard to get right, but I like the look of the trees in the background here. The layering, the shading, it's decent, it's decent. Because if we go with a flat shape, it doesn't work. Then it looks like a flat pancake, which is what we saw with the other tree as well. So we do want to simulate the feeling of volume. When I look at this tree, I feel that the layering is a bit too heavy-handed. So how do we approach this? How do we make it better? Because in real life you have the layering. The layering is what defines this type of tree. And I think making it cartoony like this, exaggerating the layering, is a good way to go. Is it that the bottom shape is not good? Like, it's hollow? Should it be more round near the bottom? As if supporting the entire tree? I think in real life, if you look at a tree like this, it is actually hanging like this. So and now it looks pretty good. I think the edge artifact is also throwing me off. I'm being triggered by that edge artifact. So let's see if we can remove that. It's this branch shape is apparently sticking out. Again, one toke over the line. So let's see if we can remove that edge artifact by just moving this inwards 2 pixels or so. X4, Y1500, so it's 4 pixels in now. Maybe that cleans up the line, because we are aliasing in those transparent pixels.
Oh, no time to waste, let's go.
Eventually we'll get the texture right anyway, because we have to add the branches. Yeah, so that's a clothesline gone. That's already a big improvement. Is it gone? Yeah, it is gone. Oh, yoy yoy. And all of a sudden, without those artifacts, oh, yoy yoy. I'm starting to like the trees. Tell me, anyone watching, do you like the sight of these trees? They are backlit though, so maybe it's because they are backlit, but they look pretty nice and backgroundish. They don't draw too much attention. They're just there. There's a bit of layering going on. Minigame. Find all the hero stickers that are hidden. Sure. We can do that later on, Max. Yeah, cleaner. The clothesline was just throwing me for a loop there. Random Wonder. Acacia Mountain. This one has got No pine or spruce trees to speak of? Question mark? I like the snow texture. The snow texture is nice in the background. I love this place, Hans says. Yes, me too. Let's go back to the village then. Le village. Yeah, with the clothesline gone, it was just triggering me too hard. But with the clothesline gone, it's a very nice shape for the tree. You could still argue that maybe the layering, the displacement could be towards the front to remove those horizontal lines that you see. Might add a bit of like visual interest. I don't like the word too much, but it is a word. Overall, the shading on them looks pretty spiffy. And this feels really cartoony, having these three shapes just match and be simple. Good, 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 good. So, basically with the clothesline gone, I think we have something that's pretty decent. Now, to get rid of this very horizontal line. Because yeah, I can imagine that this is a bit too horizontal here. But then how do we approach it? So cone 4 is pretty good. We can only do the bottom side of the things. It sure looks okay. Thank you. It sure looks okay. I'll take it. Then the question becomes, do we turn these into smooth points? Smooth. And then this one, smooth. That didn't really work as well as I expected. Do we add a point in the center then? And then we just whoop. Like this. Except we need to do it on both, of course. So we remove this one, then we remove this one, then we paste this one, then we color pick it, 90 degree it, paste another one, like that. Is this more fun? Is this more fun with the shape like this? I think it is, isn't it? It also more closely resembles what we're trying to model here. So maybe we move it down. Oh, one more pixel. Yeah. It's coming to life. It's all coming to life. See it. This adds to the 3Dness. It's fake. I know it's fake, but it does add to the 3Dness of the entire design. So I'm not hating it. We select this. We add an anchor point in the center. I want it to be in the center. Invalid numeric value. That's what I do, baby. I will invalidate your numeric values all day long. Boop, boop, boop. Color pick this one, rotate it back. There we go, boom, on top. Lovely. Lovely. Yeah, this is better. This gives a way better feel of it being three-dimensional, while also retaining some of its original charm. Cone number 1, boom, boom, intersect, that's good. It might look like black magic, but trust me, I'm a doctor. I'm not a doctor though. And this didn't even work. It didn't even work. What am I talking about? I think it is. It's because we cut this line, but then we didn't add a new anchor point in between. Also, there's these off by 1 pixel errors here. It's just what we live with. Make it smooth, make it beautiful. Make it beautiful. Ooh, that's a nice tip to it, which is what she said. But okay, now we lost our original gradient, so we color pick it from this one, 90 degrees. I know that the top side used to be 0, like that, and then this is probably 128 or so. $180, okay, so maybe we can do 160 for the top one. Is that nice? Do we tweak the shapes slightly? It's really fun to see how you can just tweak the silhouette of the displacement map and the entire thing just looks differently. Like we can exaggerate it slightly more. Because visually this would be towards the camera, so it wouldn't be out of place to sort of mimic that perspective effect. And now I want to get the anchor point, but it's not letting me. Like that then. Like that. Let's make a... we don't have to make a copy. Let's just use this. We do have a lot of files again. It's one of those intricate designs. And the more time you spend on it, the better it looks. But it takes a lot of time to get right. Okay, good. Now we smooth this out. It also breaks up the shape of the bottom portion, which is good. Okay, so we still have the fold in the like lowermost layer. We'll take care of that later on, eventually. Does the side profile look pretty good? Yeah, it looks pretty realistic. This one is sticking out quite a lot, but that's just the way it is. And this one is a bit bulgy near the bottom. In all, it's decent. Getting better every time. And the ambient occlusion, you can definitely see that the horizontal lines are now broken up, and we get these nice little highlights on there where the tree is that's absolute closest to the camera. Looks pretty good. It's a bit of flavor. So we save the slanted, sheared version of it. And then we save the material slanted version. And I understand we sort of like introduced all kinds of horizontal lines to the bricks to make them look pixel arty. And now for this one we're using non-straight lines, but that's the difference. It's vegetation.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
It's more natural. Yeah, this adds more character and depth to it. Take a look at the nice shading that you get here. So the horizontal line is now gone. It makes it look way less rigid, way less artificial. And I think it's a nice touch that's added this way. So let's see what it looks like in Countworth. There's always a bit of a difference with the snowy trees as well. Yeah, it feels like the layer is now actually on top of the other layer, instead of it being a horizontally divided tree or something. It's a very fun peaky shape that you get. And especially for the snowy version, it feels very apt because snow gets added in layers. Now we still have this fold in there and probably like the circular effect that we want to add. But it's pretty nice. It's getting better all the time. At least in my mind. Let's see if we have more trees here. Yes, sure. Yeah, the snowy version feels so good. And then the regular pine tree, spruce tree version does feel spruce tree-y as well. Tree-y. And yes, it does have less detail than the blocks. But no, that's not a problem, because that's just the way it is. Because of its size, it already takes up so much space in your view. It compensates with its size. It's a lovely shape. It's a lovely shading. It's a lovely shape. Random Wonder, Salomon's Castle. We have the Pine Tree Garden somewhere around here. Which inspired me to start doing this texture. Do we go this way? Lovely shadow on the parapets, or what, parapets? What are they called? Super pets? Pokemons? Yo, so we have a bit of a... There's a bit of a... Yeah. That's something we'll fix in a later stream, like the ambient occlusion, some of the reflections being a bit too light when there's no light falling onto things. But overall, I like the shape of this. I do have the impression, the distinct impression, that the texture is a bit... Yeah, sorry, I was hinting at that back. They compensate with their size, or for their size. Also, speaking of size, I made the chat integration, like below here, I made it a bit wider, so more text fits in there. It's a subtle tweak, but I thought the previous arrangement was a bit too small. It was a bit just too small, too tall. And some of the letters got cut off. Okay, there's pine trees in the back there, so let's take a look at that. They look sort of rigid. Rigid Jones's Diary, sort of. Let's, you know, let's just head into the pine woods. Also, my mouse cursor was just visible. Again, it pops up. I have no idea where. I think it's Illustrator. One problem with this new texture might be that it's just too fragile in a way. So the shape is maybe a bit too fragile. But it does tile nicely. I mean, some of these trees use two of the textures above each other. I think this one already does it. This one, this tall spruce, yes. In all, I'm pretty happy with the look. One more random wonder, see if we get a tree there. Paxanima West. Mr. West. Mr. West. You were sleeping. I don't see any here. This is all deciduous, like leaves. Trees with leaves. The panda eats, shoots, and then leaves. Wonder number 12? 12 Kingdoms? There's already one right in front of us. In front of your face. Good, it looks like background vegetation, which is exactly what it should look like. Of course, you could make a build that's centered around trees and only trees, but it will take a bit more to convince people that it's a good build in this style, because you can't just place trees and hope for the best. Here's a small line of them. It does signal that we do want to add some detail to the other trees though, so just having a sphere, a single sphere, as a tree is not the best. We need to add a bit more detail in there. But maybe this can act as a guide, as a sort of exploratory exercise to get the new tree or a new tree shape. I love the lighting on this, the way that the grass reflects. That's good, it's nice. Other than that, I don't see many pine trees here, so Violet Castle. Single tree over there. Doesn't look out of place. Good, good, good. So what did we want to do? Oh yeah, the layering. Making the layering more continuous and less creasy. Creasy. Right. So you could argue that maybe the shape of the tree needs to be different entirely, but let's not go with an entirely different tree shape just yet. I do want to compare textures though, just for a minute, like see what the pixel coverage is like. Hi Arda, the musician. Yeah, so I think we cover slightly less pixels, so the shape is definitely a bit thinner, a bit more lean compared to the original tree. But I don't want to go too thick, because then you lose the nice layering effect that we have going on now. Can you show me your game? I could. We are working on textures though, so it's not only playing the game. I just spent a few minutes trying to see what it looks like. So this is the Spruce Tree PBR displacement map for the Spruce Tree, Christmas tree. It's a Christmas themed stream. So I can show you what the trees look like in the game, but like the entire game is is being remastered at the moment, so we're doing texture by texture. So this is not what the current version of the game looks like, but sure, we can take a quick look here. Like we're working on this texture right now to make these trees look funky and funny. And it looks pretty good for a Christmas tree, for a spruce tree. Nice layering going on, even though it's a flatly shaded model, or it's a flat model, sort of. So if I go to the wonder that we've been testing this at for quite a bit now, Count with the Vilia, there are some snow-covered trees here. So it's all under construction, and we're working on it. But there's some nice layering going on in the trees. Like this looks fun to sit at. Like now we sit on the we sit on the chair. See, here we are. We're sitting at the tree. I hope you enjoy it. I want to get rid of the crease. So there's this crease. I'm not sure if you can see it. There's a dark part and a light part to it. So we want to get rid of that crease. And then maybe we can spend some time on these globes, on these spheres, making those look better. But it's all under construction. So this initially will be released for Windows, Linux and Mac. It requires OpenGL 3. So we're stepping up from the fixed function pipeline to like shader-based pipeline. And it's not on iOS or Android just yet, but that will be coming afterwards. So it's a remaster of the game called Angeldust. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but if I fire up the existing version of the game, it looks like this. So keep in mind what we just saw, and if I sign in now,
Let's do this.
This is more closely resembling a style that you saw when OpenGL fixed function pipeline was around. So everything is just textured and the colors are baked in. There's no directional lighting going on. There's no PBR effect, just that we had in the previous showcase. If I go to the wonder, the same wonder, like over here, this is what it looks like in this style. Totally different, but still very nice. The contrasted detailing here is a bit more in the dark pixels, so there's a lot of dark things going on. So do you need music? I understand your question from the musician part of your username. Not at the moment. We have about 27 different tracks already written by Tim van der Beek in English, a Dutch composer who did the music for the game. And so far it's wonderful music. It hasn't started to bother me just yet, so I'm good on the musical front. But thanks for asking. Like no plans yet to start replacing the music. Anyway, so that's Angeldust. That's the existing version. If you want to check it out, it's on the Google Play Store. It's on Mac OS, App Store, iOS, iTunes, App Store, Steam. It's on Itch. It's everywhere. You cannot not see it, basically. Anyway, so let's finish up the roundedness here. Cone number 4. We've got 3 stops in here. Do we want to go full circular? It is not full circular, of course. So what do we do? What can we do about this? Like, we can take the negative circular displacement and then half of it and try to use it. And then we also need to keep in mind our base tone so that we make sure that the layering is correct. How do we do this? I think it is a good idea to add the roundedness to it, but how? I shall show you the ID here. So if you open up the artwork production reference files, inverted circular displacement, this is basically a hollow profile. So this is what a hollow circle looks like. We could take half of it, half of this, and then we would have a half circle displacement inverted. Oh, there's basically just an invert filter applied to this, which is lovely. Oh, but this is the way to do it. This is the way to do it. Because we... No. Yes. This is the way that we do it. We do it like this. We do it like this. Okay, so we're back. This is just a rounded displacement, circular displacement for each of the cones. Now I want to work on cone number 4. We'll take care of the layering afterwards, but let's make this consistent first. So we make a file that is... we make, then we shake and bake. We place the inverted reference file. Boom. Bam. We rotate this. Boom. Bam. Also, it's incorrect. There's an error in it. There's an artifact that we need to fix first. Documents, auto production, reference files. Bam. Hey, Fadi, how are you doing? How you doing? It's Christmas time. I hope you're having a good time, and that the sun may shine for you and your people. See, there was a problem with the thing. Okay, so now we place it. We're working on the Christmas tree today. That's cool, right? And then we align it with the bottom of our shape, which coincidentally here is the bottom of the artboard, so we can do that. We can also center it. And then we need to make sure that the midpoint is near the top of our thing. So we want the midpoint to be very close to that line. And as you can see, it's pretty close. We just need to slightly decrease its size. So let's zoom in. Let's make sure that we are able to see the shape. So 830 pixels. That's too small. This seems absolutely perfect. Our shape is 416 tall, so we should be 832. That's exactly double. Yeah. Oops. Zoom out. So then we move it in front of that, and then we select the multiply transparency. Boom. So now this thing should have a circle like that, but a hollow circle like this. Makes sense, right? And I think we want the effect to be slightly less strong, so maybe 50%. Let's try it out. Let's check it out, see what that ends up looking like in Pixplant. So we're looking for the bottom cake layer here. It does have it. It does have it. It's hollow, and it's almost reminiscent of the original style. So that's good. That's good. It's real good. What happens if we just exaggerate that effect all the way? We act as if... Because maybe that's the deal. Maybe we just make it... Maybe we just act as if the tree is very spacious. Boom. Bam. Of course we always smooth out the normal. So it's very curved inwards, and then it gets too dark. That's apparent now. It gets too dark, so we don't really get any displacement in there at all. So it is a nice effect, and it does work, but it is too much of an effect. Can we do something with these options, like lighten? Nope. Darken? I think that's about the same as multiplying. Maybe we just revert. Revert. Yeah, I first want to make sure that we have a backup copy of what we were working with, because it looked pretty good. I want to make a copy of this for the archives. I know it looks a bit weird here, but yeah, it's the right one. We have a copy. So, again, load this into Pixplant. Maybe I'm seeing ghosts, and maybe we just remove the gradient stop here. So gradient, remove this stop, boom, and just be done with it. Maybe we use linear displacement for that. Maybe that's just the way it is. It's a tiny detail, like the trees are big in the game, of course, but maybe the lighting is just better if we don't add that at all. Sure, it looks like roofing tiles, slightly, sort of. Also, let me reopen Pixplant so we can see what we're doing. Maybe that's just a trick. Don't worry about it. Just run with it. Just act natural. Like the fold is gone now. Entirely good. One, two, three, four, five. Save. 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 Okay, this takes a bit more steps than usual because we have to shear or slant the map. Yeah, we don't see many artifacts due to that slanting, so I'm really happy with that. I expected maybe to have some pixel artifacts or scaling artifacts pop up, but we don't have any of those, which is nice. So we save the material map as well, texture packet, publish it, and we done. Maybe it's just not a problem at all. Let's go to Countworth because that's the we've got trees there. Yeah, the fold is gone. Cleaner look to it. Maybe just let's keep it linear. I mean, how many people are going to notice? Everyone who watches live stream, but other than that, who will notice? Hey Anthony, how are you doing? Anthony, we're working, or I was working, or we are looking for this spruce tree texture. So it's got some layering to it now, and it's got a bit of a different shape. Doing pretty good. How about you all? I think we're all doing good. It's Christmas time. I've got my Christmas sweater. Fadi, just for you and for the people just joining, shall I show you? Like, you might have already seen this coin over here. It's a Super Mario Christmas sweater. If I stand up, you can see the man, the legend, like that. It's Mario. You know this. That's just how it goes. That's just what we do. I like this. I can wear this sweater for about 1 week per year.
No time to waste, let's go.
Because then it's Christmas time. And I just like having it. I don't need this. I don't need this. I need it! You want this in your life. It's a very nice sweater. It's an officially licensed product as well. How hard can it be to pronounce a few words? Pretty hard, that's what she said. Anyway, Sanrofar, south, north. There are no pine trees in Sanrofar, everybody knows this. There be no pine trees, but there are fine trees. And this is Oligan, and he's gonna seize all of them trees. So which wonder does have pine trees? We had G Castle. Maybe we can go there during daytime. Head into the pine tree garden adventure section of the build, which is right over here. Here we are in the pine tree adventure fun section. Wow. Lots of trees. Whoa, that's a lot of trees. I like the shape. It's very cartoony, and due to the texture filtering, you don't even notice that the texture might be slightly lower resolution in places. It's smooth, like the edges are smooth, the lighting is smooth on this. It's just so good. It's really smooth. I like the shape of this roof portion there. Can't really get close, but I like it. Here too, like I like the glossy materials. Maybe I'm just a glossy material lover. I think the shadows are also very distinct. So the shape of the tree, the outline, the silhouette is very nice. There's a certain symmetry on it.
Oh, divine.
And overall the lighting effect on it is pretty good. Yeah, I'm a material girl in a material world, except I'm not a girl. I am in the world though. Especially on the white version of the tree, you can see the ambient occlusion exaggerating the layering on it. Maybe we should tone that down slightly, but I think it's a pretty nice effect. It adds a bit of depth to the design and really makes the tree stand out like this. So maybe let's just run with this for now. I think it's a very nice tree shape. We can always try to add more detail to it. We could use a noise function or something to add needles. If we were so inclined, if we wanted to have needles, like a bit of a micro texture going on, we could also draw them in. Hey, there's a building over there. Felipe Lima has made this. I made this. It's a marble box. We can see that it's marble because of the texture. It's a marble box with some lanterns in there. That's good, that's nice. I like the snow. Oh, there's another box over here. Nando Brazil made this. Good. Okay, sun is setting. One more wonder, let's see where we end up. Paraíso. Does Paraíso have any spruce trees, Leyenda? I think there's an island with spruce trees. Oh, let me get rid of that. Ja, dat had hij mooi gedacht. No, there are no spruce trees here. There are none. Zero. Zilch. Pas de spruce tree, as they say in French. Oh, /12 doesn't work. We're going to teleport to wonder number 12. 12 kingdoms. And let's head through this gate. Here are a few pretty good. Oh, this one. Here, it looks decent, it looks nice. Stylistically, it complements the blocks. Like, it has lower detail, but the fact that it's a tree at all just makes it so much better. Hey Marek, Kagdila, I'm doing fine, thanks. How are you doing? I hope everything is well. I'm drawing a Christmas tree right now, so working on the spruce tree. It seemed fitting. It seemed fitting for this live stream to do Christmas trees. Good. So that's the Christmas tree then. It's pretty nice. Again, we could go for a more pronounced design using that circular displacement. But I don't want to go too much overboard. Or do we? Or do we? It would be nice, and of course the trees are a very visual element in the game, that there are trees everywhere. Like in the starting village you have trees, and they are everywhere, so it would be nice to make them look good, but there's only so much you can do, like realistically. I see no way of making the displacement map super much better than what we have here. I think it's already a very nice design. You could argue about the symmetry. We started off with a more symmetrical shape, I think, than what we ended up with. Or like symmetrical, more like arranged or distributed a bit more equally. But hey, this is what we have now. It's good. Like you could say that it's a bit top heavy or so. Let's keep it. Let's keep it. Let's we did a very good job at making a new tree design, and that's good. I will not bother with the other tree today, so we're not going to do the sphere today. I think I need a bit more time to work something out for that. But what we can do is something else. Like we can pick up one more texture or so and work on that. So let's see which textures we still need to do. Documents, artwork production, PBR, and then we're looking at the block textures here. So bamboo is finished, bricks, cinder blocks, cobble, facing bricks, grass, hexagonal bricks, lantern block. Lantern block is up next. We only have the large lantern block so far, so we can take a look at that. See if we can make that look more consistent. For that we need the regular texture sheet. Just like this, yeah, it's in here, over here. And let's take a look at what we have first, and then we decide what we want to change.
Oh, no time to waste.
Build
Let's
alone.
go.
Let's place one. It's near the bottom. Boom. Good. So, one thing I immediately notice is that it's steel-ish. So let's place a steel material rod right next to it. Okay, that's good. So I think the tone of the steel is a bit too dark. I think the steel could be a bit lighter. I like the roundedness of the pipe though, the shading on it. That we have this weird. This is in the emission channel. Like the light emitting channel is a bit weird in the sense that we have this very cartoony shape in there with the with lots of detail. We can either use a gradient for that, so we make the outside a bit darker and then the inside lighter, or we just go with full contrast. We just drop this detail. I think that's also one of the options. The normal map on it is a bit blocky in the sense that it's got this very blocky look to it, so we probably want to use smoothing there. And then ambient occlusion will follow suit as well. Other than that, the layering of the design itself is pretty good. We spent a lot of time already on this lantern, and we should probably reuse as much of that work as we can. So I think I want to clean up the emission map, so get rid of this darker edge in there, so if it's in the shadow, it's not realistic that the lantern would look like this, at least not in the style that we're currently shooting for. So let's just make it brighter. Maybe it can just be like fully light emitting and not worry about it too much. We could do maybe a gradient again. Gradient might be a possibility, but I think I just want to have the lanterns give off light as much as possible. See what we have here in the village. Well, yeah, it looks nasty, it looks dirty, it looks like a dirty lamp. It's not exactly what I want. So we need to start tweaking stuff here. Let's make a backup copy. So we copy these over, we make an archive folder. Archive, and let's call it 202212 hand drawn. Is it hand drawn normal map here? Let's see. Yeah, it's a hand drawn normal map as well. So that's why the style is a bit different. Hand drawn normal map. Okay, it's funky because we're using an emission map. This normal map looks a bit funky, but trust me, we're gonna get this right. Albedo is probably the first thing that we can tackle. So we want this to be steel shaded, steel colored, and then we need to look up the steel color in the engine. So first off, we open up code generation, and then we open the material color information, metal, steel. Suppose we make the frame out of steel. The lightness is, it's very hard to see, but I will enter the numbers in the calculator. 375 plus 85 divided by 2, which is 6125. And I think we're in linear color space, so we can probably just do this times 255, and then we end up at too large a number. So we divide this by 100, and then we do times 255, which is 156. And that already explains why the color might seem off. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I think we want to use 156 here for steel. Then the artboard itself is sized in inches. It's whack, but we just use this file and then scale it to 480. The artifact near the top of the frame is gone. We can just scale up the background for this because it looks vaguely incorrect. 480, 480, that's just what we do. Save it in PBR blocks, lantern block, variations, albedo. Boom, that's one and done. Much lighter. Convert it. Let's just work channel by channel. Let's keep looking at our work. So the rim should now be much more steelish than it was before.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
I don't see too much of a change, but I believe it. Did the texture really change? Is this much lighter now? Press X to doubt. Press X to doubt, but sure, maybe? Let's just try something and see if we can actually change the color of the material. Maybe we're working in the wrong file or so. Publish. Convert. It should work. Like, it should now be a blue rim.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
It is. This is a nice color steel though. We don't have this in the engine currently. We don't have any blue steel except for the sword of the fighter. So, okay. Let's assume that the conversion that we did was good. Or is it? It is not good. I know what we did wrong. We forgot the linear conversion again. So we need to convert this lightness value to linear value, which is 87. Huh? So it was correct then. Was it correct or was it not correct? We are basically working in HSB brightness, so we had 0 saturation and then 62 brightness, which is an RGB 156. Yeah, so the color was correct initially, but I think it's a bit too dark. But let's run with it. Okay, we go back to the original color. It didn't make that much of a difference anyway. Already we're finding good excuses. Oh, let's close the game. We can close this one. We don't want to convert more albedo colors. Next up, displacement. Yeah, so we did a lot of work on this one in one of the earlier live streams. It's a very intricate design that we have here for the lantern. And if we open it up on Pixplant, let's just do that first. Open displacement. The PNG version. Boom. And then we smooth it out. Yeah, it's very, very, very subtle. So we probably want circular displacement for this, but we can't really do that because we can't really bend that profile. So what the best we can do is to sort of, I think we use these values here, maybe tweak these values. So inner decoration background, let's see what kind of colors we have. 254, 250, 255, 250, 255. Okay, so we have two whites, then we have two 250s. So let's go a bit more extreme here. Instead of making them 5 lighter, we go with 50 lighter. So that's going to be 205, 205, 205. There we go, that's nice. And then this one also becomes 205, 205, 205. There you go. And then this one becomes 100 lighter, so that's 155. Boom. More depth already to the design, which is nice. Now I am wondering though if the colors are correct, if this like is functioning correctly, because it feels like this is a bit too dark. But okay, I can dig it. I understand what's going on here. Yeah, so good. But then we end up with the background. Like, where is the background? Depth, normal inner, outer front, okay. Background, black. Yeah, I'm not really seeing that portion. Okay, this is the light. Put your face in the light. So the light is basically in the background here, and it could be even darker. So let's go with 125 or so. 100, 105. Like this. One thing we can do is to remove this, like the layers that we don't use. These can go. This reference layer can go, because we already did all of that work. See what this displacement gives us. Files that we can remove are this hand-drawn normal map. We will replace it with a computer-generated one. This one we need, this one we need. Okay, don't worry about it. Close all. So what I'm looking for is to have a bit of like a steeper displacement in the lantern, so that it matches the other blocks a bit better. And this is looking a lot better now. You can definitely see the layering going on, so we smooth it out, just like the other blocks. So it becomes a bit more fuzzy. We could go even more extreme here. So we do need to have tiling enabled here. We could go a bit more extreme, but let's go with this first. So we have a box 2x2 here. You can see the circles connecting nicely in the design. Yeah, it does have a lot of depth. So we save this as a normal map, but not in the variations folder, in the regular folder here. So that's lantern block large PBR normal base. And we extract ambient occlusion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. Really intricate design. Now you might say, hey, Firefly, and you would be right, I am Firefly. The center portion is a bit darker here. Isn't that a problem? And the fact that this looks recessed. I don't think it's going to be a problem because we set the emission flag for these pixels, so they will just be emitting light. Never mind the ambient occlusion. So we can take a look at the shading in a few moments, what the engine makes of this. Then we have the material shading thing. I think this is good. We make the rims metallic and the inner portion is just the light color. So it's albedo mixed, that's good. It's super metallic and it's slightly rougher than glass, which is all correct. So we're not going to mess with this. The displacement is good for now. Then we have this material map, including the ambient occlusion. This one is ready to go. Correctly sized. We can save it out. And then we have the normal map, which we need to tweak and update. So we don't want to have the hand-drawn normal map here. We want to have the Pixplant generated normal map in here. Which looks like this all of a sudden. And that's because we also place the emission map in here. Emission. And we want to tweak the emission to not have that detail in there. So while this is good, it looks quite funky. The colors look pretty nice. We are going to tweak the emission map, which is this one. We get rid of all of these detailed portions. We just make them white. They do. What they do? They do look funky or what? This is basically our albedo map with different colors in here. I hope that the artifacts that we see on screen are not in the actual texture. The colors, yeah, they are funky, they are funky. Here we go. This is the trick that we have here. There's more detail that you cannot see, but this looks pretty nice. I think the white looks good on this. So yeah, this is the normal map with all that funky transparency going on. Okay, so it changed a lot. And now we look at the result. Hot or not is the question. Hot or not. Took some time to generate the map.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
Good. It's more rounded. That's something that I can tell you like immediately. It's more rounded. The normal map fits the other blocks way better now. There's a bit more depth into the design. Not sure if it should be this deep, which is what she said, but we can slightly lower the depth. Maybe like the backplate, the glass itself is a bit too recessed there. Regarding the emission, I'm not exactly sure if this is what we want. Let's take a look at the block within the stairs. So some nice layering going on. That's good, and it's smooth, just like the other blocks. There's ones here in the top of the village as well. So what I dislike is the fact that they do not emit as much light if they're in the dark. So we should probably look into the shader, see what's going on with that. You would expect a lamp that's in the dark to emit as much light as when it's in the sunlight. Wouldn't you? So let's take one from the inventory here. And let's move into the sunlight. Like, it's weird that the block gets darker in the shadow. It should emit light. So we are in the shader here, so let's see if we can find emission here. Emission. Okay, we do some magic with that, and we clamp it, that's good. And then we say the ambient light. Diffuse is irradiance plus emission times albedo. Diffuse is irradiance plus emission times albedo. So is the trick that we just scale the emission, like say 4 times emission, and then it's much brighter?
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
It is brighter. It's brighter, definitely. Also in the shadow. Oh, see, these lamps now are now also suddenly giving off more light. See? Ooh. We definitely hit something here. See, this looks more like it's illuminating something. When it's in my hand too, it's much better. You still see a difference between the shadow and the light portion, so if sunlight falls onto it, it's definitely still a bit lighter. But this looks more like a actual lamp instead of a flat yellow thing. Might be a bit too much, so let's see if we scale it to 2 times the emission.
Oh,
This is just part of the workflow, trying to get the values to look right. Yeah, it can be a bit lighter, so 3 times the emission.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
Sure. This comes pretty close to being cool. And now, of course, we are playing in daylight here. I think maybe 2 times is best. In the shadow, it looks a bit too bright otherwise. I think this is pretty balanced. But now, what does it look like at nighttime? Sun is starting to shine. And now the sun will set. It was a very short nighttime there. We can probably go to a real build with some real things.
Let's go.
Again, I'm promoting Countworth a lot here, but it's just a build with lanterns and with trees and with all kinds of things going on. So we can just go to midnight here. And yeah, the lighting feels better. I always felt that the lanterns were a bit too dark, sort of. And now they definitely get a bit more of a lanterny vibe to them. They definitely stand out in the dark. It's starting to feel more cozy this way too, because you can see the light much clearer, much better. Though I am wondering what we do, because we add the emission to the diffuse here, and yeah, we multiply the occlusion with the diffuse. So I think that instead of it being in this term, I think this is like what if we just remove the emission? So now the lamps should look dull.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
Yeah, the lamps now don't have any shininess to them. They are just yellow yellow squares, or yellow colored squares. What if we just say ambient is because what do we do with ambient? We eventually ambient plus LO. Okay, so we take the ambient light, we take the specular light, but the emission is basically what we already have. So we just add the emission to this. Emission times albedo. Because it emits light, even if it is...
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
Even if it is occluded, it should still emit light. So this takes care of the dark center portion, and it will emit light wherever it is. That's just the base light that it always will receive. I think that makes much more sense. And of course you can see the sun highlight move over the lantern, because that's just the glass that it's reflecting. But the base light that's coming off of the lamp is always there. I think that's a trick. I think this is the correct way to shade them. See, in the dark, like when it's in the shadow, it's still emitting light. And the sun is reflecting on it. And then the question becomes, so now we don't even scale by 2, we just say this always emits this amount of light. I think we can just say local or emitted is emission times albedo. And we just add emitted. Specular light, ambient light, and let's just add it as a separate section here. Emitted light. So plain light emission. We can do a fun trick with this, which we can look into later. I sort of want to add rim lighting to that as well. See if we can make that work.
Let's go.
It would be nice to have a bit of an effect where if you're looking at a lamp straight ahead, it's a bit brighter than when it's near the sides. We can do a bit of like trickiness with that. So now the question is this light emission too strong? We should probably check in the build, so maybe we can do Neferspi, which is also pretty well lit.
Let's go.
Yeah, and all of a sudden this was missing. This was missing. The lantern's just emitting light. Suddenly some of the structure of the build comes back just instantly. See, we have the lanterns everywhere, and they're just brighter than the surrounding blocks. You could argue that they maybe are a bit too bright, but some of these don't have textures just yet, so let's not discount whatever is going on at the moment. Feels pretty realistic. Let's check out Vexanima. I think that has got the crystals, which are also emitting. So they always looked a bit dull and dark because when they're in the shadow, the red doesn't really combine well with the shadow color. And now it looks like a crystal. See? That's much better. There's some depth to it. It looks a bit like subsurface scattering here. But this is definitely a light emitting crystal now, instead of just being a dull red color like it was before. See, and the shards, they finally have their color. So this is a good improvement. It's a nice improvement. Also, when the materials combine, you will see some of that emission combine into other materials, so it glows like glowy rock, sort of. But that's pretty good, okay? And it isn't really overpowered when you're looking at it from like a daytime perspective. Now, what is up with this color? It's a hedge. Oh, it's attached to a lamp, so it does take over a bit of that emission from the lamp. Not sure if we want that. Something we can tweak later. Oh, the water has got a nice reflection here. It's good that we see this. You could argue that the emission is a bit too strong. Too strong at the moment. So what if we do half here?
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
We can't teleport just yet. I can already tell that they don't look like lanterns at the moment. They're a bit too dull, so it's definitely higher than 0.5, what we want. Yeah, you see these chaos crystals. They are now. It's logical. It's logical to have 1.0 because that's just the base color of the material of the object itself. So it should emit that color. It's entirely logical. So this should also hold for the weapons that we have in the game and some of the characters. So what does that look like? For instance, Golden Bear was always very dull. Golden Bear is number 5 on the list. So let's Spawn a local bear. Golden bear 5. Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be
So finally it looks more like a glowing golden bear. So it is still metallic, sort of. It does have the metallic effect applied to it. It will still reflect light. But now it's got this inherent color to it. Like it's glowing. It's a glowing bear. Bear with me. So now we can also try to get a red bear, which is 6, I think. Yeah, sure. And its eyes are emitting light, and those are much brighter than they were before. So maybe this is a trick. Maybe we solved a very important problem just by using a bit of thinking. Violet bear, also giving off light, but being in the shadow, slightly bluish. It's fun. They look very special in the sense that they have this nice shading effect going on. That's pretty good. Like, let's spawn a random creature. 200, not sure what that is. It's a tripod. Okay, metallic tripod, giving off light. Spectacular. And we can also spawn in a sorceress, which is number 4, with her wand. The wand is also giving off light. It's very white. It's very bright. Bird. Okay, this one doesn't have any special shading to it. The eyes though should be glowing in the dark. Something to look out for. I think we fixed the emission issue. Now it's just a matter of like, what do we want to do with it? Do we want to use rim lighting for that? So if we have rim lighting, I'm not sure if we have any factor that calculates that. Reflection factor. It's for the future. It's for the future. Simple as that. We were working on the lanterns.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
So let's go to Neferspi. It's got the lantern block. Yeah, so basically this is the design now. It's it's more rounded because we now have the emission set up properly. We don't get the super dark ambient occlusion effect in the center or near the edges. And this just is the lantern, period. That's what it is. I will still say that the steel looks lighter when you have it as a material. So I'm not sure if the texture color is correct or if we should do the inverse. Like, are we doing the conversion the wrong way around or something? It should interpret the texture color as a linear value, so... Let's keep it for now. I mean, this lantern is pretty good. Like, the design is a bit simpler, in the sense that it doesn't have those weird cartoony lines in there that we had with half emission. But I think this is much cleaner. Better fitting for the style. Just a better fit overall.
Oh, divine.
Yeah, this hedge to lantern block material transition might not be, the emission might not be the best idea. But still, it's realistic, it's what we have. Random Wonder, here we go. Sour Far, south. Okay, we've got some nice lanterns over here. Yeah, and now it looks more like a glass lantern too, because we have the inherent emission, and then we have the light coming in from the left side here. I like these, it's pretty good. Especially in the shadow. We fixed the emission, we did it.
And
now we move into the tree bark restaurant. I think there's a bit of tree bark there that I want to take a look at. We have Linda coming, or Alex, we've got Alex coming in from the right. Going to the restaurant, it's all good. I am wondering though, which wonder does have the colored lights we want to have some wonder with... Oh, we can maybe go into the caves in Paxanima. Caves in Paxanima are lit using all kinds of materials.
Hey, sweet haul.
Or maybe the impact crater. Impact world crater. Glass doors, we should probably do a texture for that as well. Okay, here we have lanterns overlaid with wooden frames. And now you can definitely see that the wooden frame is a tad darker than the steel of the lantern. So it's a look. Moving upstairs. The chandelier is pretty good. The chandelier is over there. It's pretty nice, pretty nice. Who was that? Back says. Who was that? Alex. Or the others. Like, there's all kinds of people. They're all dining here. Dragon's Nest Spaceport. Ooh. Sure, here we go. And I like the look for the crystals. Take a look at the intricate shading on this. It's got the wrong texture, so it's got a rock-like texture. We want to make this more crystalline. But it looks nice with the lighting effect on it. It looks nice as if it's got some subsurface scattering to it. Which is the effect like if you shine a very bright light under your hand, for instance, you can see the light scatter within your hand. And it gives off a different color that way. So these are not lanterns then. It's citrine glass. Yeah. Look. I thought it was a portal. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. So it's very nicely shaded with the crystal, like that. These lights, these are lanterns, these are stickers. We need to add the design for that. But those are brighter now too, because they are entirely white at the moment. Can we find some symbionts? There is some kind of purple light here. Oh, these are the symbionts. Okay. Good. You in a spaceship? Yeah, we can go in the spaceship. We've got Cathray over here. Hello Cathray, how are you doing? Oh, it's started to rain in the game, and I thought this sound is realistic, but it's also started to rain in real life, so that's nice, my dear. How do we get in the spaceship? A spaceship. I want to be in the spaceship. Captain Rithian. Got Stellar just walking around. Number 2 Murdoch. He's part of the A-team. We still need to do the metal texture. Maybe that's one for the next time. Killian, how are you doing? So these characters, Killian, this one uses the red base color, and the red base color is a light emitting material by itself. So you can definitely see that this character glows. And I'm not talking about their like involvement in federal operations. So once we are in the spaceship, we should have some brighter colors here all around. Driving home for Christmas. Da, 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 da. I can't wait to see those faces. There's a nice haze to it because of the rain. There's a nice haze to everything. But this looks like a spaceship, the lighting. It looks pretty good. The violet lanterns, they are also light-ish. Violet light-ish. Lanterny. So we are in a spaceship now. All of you people. Next wonder is Mount Athema, built by Elki. We have the snow. And do we see some lanterns? Yeah. The lanterns now instantly attract your eye because they are so much brighter than before. Crystals, giving off light. Looking pretty realistic. Again here. Let's see if we can get to the train station. We climb up here. And we are in the train station. Yeah, look at it. The chandeliers. Hey Anthony, see you later. I will be streaming or stopping the stream pretty soon. Tomorrow evening will be Angeldust Live, the regular show. Christmas themed.
Like new treasure smell.
It will be fun. So see if you can make it. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice festive season with Christmas and all just around the corner. Glowing mobs, you run them over with your mound. Yeah, I think, so maybe we should do a battle. Let's see if we can... I think some of the items, like this one has got crystals too, so this should probably also glow in the dark. Like the button here, or the explosion sign, is also highlighted. And these are symbionts that should give off light as well. So yeah, they now glow. See those purple globes? They now glow, which is much better. So let's go into play together, see if we find some other person. No, we're just in the level 1 forest, which is just what happens. But the mobs should now have glowing eyes. And once you hit them, they should glow in red. So let's see if we can actually make them glow. I don't want to kill a horse. I don't want to kill a frog over there. So yeah, this trapper now has got glowing eyes. See? It goes into the shadow, but the eyes are still very bright, which is nice. And once we hit it, see, it glows in red. And this effect is much more pronounced than it was before. Which is nice, which is nice. Because now they will also glow when it's dark outside.
Looking for this.
Let's see if we can find another creature. So go to the west. I'm not entirely sure if all of the materials are correct, so I like the look of the rocks and the grass. We should probably do a dirt texture sometime soon, and the gravel. There's a pheasant, which is almost invisible. Yeah, let's not kill a frog. Let's see if we can find a creature that's worthy of killing. I will close Illustrator, by the way, because the texture is good. Oh, no. I want to close Illustrator. Because that one puts the big mouse cursor on the screen. Where do we end up? I want to find a creature. The lanterns are definitely giving off more light than before. It looks much better as a lantern. There's another trapper over to the left. Another pheasant over here. See that the eyes glow in the dark? So it's in the shadow, it's in the dark, but the eyes are glowing. And that's a nice effect, which is already in the current version of the game. It's nice that we can just have that here as well. I think it makes the characters a bit more readable and more organic in a way. Oh, why did it have to start to rain?
Great.
Yeah, great. Oh, here we have a bear. Check this out. The bear. It's just chilling near the water. It's chilling in the water. Bear, what's up, amigo? Bear, hello. Okay, I think the eyes do give off light. But the eyes are a bit darker on this color. And once I hit it, you can see that it starts to glow in red. So that's a pretty nice effect that we just copy over from the base game. Which also means that my character should glow in purple when it heals. Let's see. Yep. It just lights up a bit. See, it got this this nice glow on it. It's not a... whatchamacallit? Whatever, anyway. So we get this glow effect on it. That's pretty nice. Kill the bear.
Hey, sweet haul. Nothing like that. New treasure smell.
Which probably also means that if I detonate the bomb, that the explosion will be full brightness. So that sprite should now also render correctly. Yeah. Previously, the bomb explosion would be way too dark and you wouldn't really see it.
All right. Do I have to
You can also see that the crystals give off light here, so that's nice. It's a nice addition that we get for free. Okay, some good progress. We not only did a pine tree texture, we also made some progress with the shading effect. So we can probably commit that change. I might do it right after the stream. so that we can enjoy that for all times to come. I never really did this, like go into the natural world to hunt, but it's definitely looking good. Like the way that the sun reflects over there to the right, and the way that everything feels is just really good. It's really nice. The rocks are still done in the old style with the hand-drawn normal maps, so we should probably redo those soon as well. There's a large mountain coming up and a swamp, so hopefully we'll find some impressive creatures here. Water shading, of course, we have a very nice water texture lined up, ready for action here, which was in Angeldust 4 beta. It would probably look spiffy in this version as well. Maybe we lower the detail level slightly, smooth it out a bit. Let's see if we can find one more creature to kill. It sounds like a regular Angeldust live stream here, but there's a snake over here. The shadow snake, which you can't see. Is it the shadow snake? Yeah, it is. Because I'm stuck to the ground now. Also the ground glows in yellow because it can unlock more materials. But that effect is now also full brightness, which should be the same for unlocking materials. This cube was also underlit always before. So I think we're doing good, Things are looking better. Here, the green eyes on the frog, super cool, super nice. The loot is also colored much better, it's much brighter. Also the coin at the top right of the screen is now lit, illuminated. Yeah, and all some good progress here. So let's do one random wonder, see where we end up. Artistic Verota. Okay, we don't have many colored lights here. One of Leanda's builds has got super colored lights, so let's see which one we do. We might do San Valentine. That's a lot of color. 18. Wonder 18. Okay. Prepare for lots of color. Which is instantly noticeable. You can see which materials give off light and which don't. I mean, these are chaos crystals giving off light. Here's treasure giving off light, just like that. And then in between you have, let's see, red marble, which doesn't give off light. So it's much darker. This does more justice to the original design though. So this was definitely intended to be a very colorful, very light heavy build. Light heavy. So it's heavy on the lights. You can already see a heart shape out of red lanterns in the distance there. But the lighting is much more balanced here. Previously all of these lanterns were just too dark in a way. And now the light is more balanced with what you would expect coming from the original game. And I'm really amazed that even though we have the emission now as a separate factor, you can still see the other shading effects going on as well. So this is the way to approach it, I think. Like this man has got a shiny purple armor, and it's still purple and shiny. Like there's light coming off of it. This is a pink cape with light-giving capabilities, and it does. It's nice. It's nice.
And now we found the loot, and we're happy.
Just the detail, the structure here, the depth of the rendering. Yeah, things are looking up. So let's go to 12 Wonders, 12 Kingdoms. We have some colored light here as well. Some nicely lit elements. Here, this is a light-giving metal red armor.
Wow, this is exciting.
How about those apples? It does have an inherent glow to it, but it also has metal shading on it. It looks very intricate, to say the least. Okay, here we have our lantern texture, looking fine as it is. Yeah, with the lanterns giving off light in the dark like this, it feels so much more cozy and much more conformant to what you would expect from the Angeldust world. I think Dragon's Nest
Hey,
Spaceport
sweetheart.
was one of the better examples. So Wonder 38 is Impact World. Let's see what the caves look like, if we can get to the caves. Just a lovely site with all of the lanterns here near the harbor. Check it out. They look like lanterns now. Finally. So a small tweak, but a huge leap for the visuals. One moment. Yo, sorry about that. We back. It's the same with the RGB lights that I have in real life. They just give off light. Take a look at just the feel of this at nighttime. Stars in the sky, the sun rising, and we just walk along these planks. This feels so realistic. We've got Drake over here. We want to go to the caves, Drake. How do we get to the caves? Do you have any clue how we get to the caves?
Oh.
Is it using this boat? There is a boat that goes there. Yes, these look like the caves. That's good, that's good. I'm happy for you. Okay, here we are at the top of the caves. And look at the marble. Whoa. The detail, the texturing, the look of it, the roundedness, the smell of it. That's nice, or what? It's nice. So we want to go into the grotto, like this. Okay, okay, already you can see the purple sheen, like just the purple atmosphere here. Just looking good, and all of these decorations, they now give off light. And again, the lighting is way more subtle than you would expect. It's not just giving off light without any consideration for other light that's coming in. It's just, it has its inherent glow, and it builds on that. It's really good. Basically, we've got Pitoli over here. How are you doing? I am completely lost. That's not good. That's not good. We've got some mud here, which is much more shiny than the other materials. We've got a bridge. Oh, just the lighting on here in the cave. It's so realistic, it's so nice. I forgot how to get to the underground city, so maybe we have to cheat a little bit. Minor fill. Is that treasure that I see here? Yeah, it's treasure. Just look at the effect of the treasure. Wow. This, I will admit, this is cheating a little bit. It looks like a bloom effect, but we don't have post-processing just yet. Maybe that's coming in a future update. So this is just basically vertex interpolation on the emission channel. But it looks very shiny and it looks really nice. And because of the way that this triangle is tessellated, it looks like a proper glow effect. So I will take a screenshot. I mean, I'm very proud of the way that this looks, but do know that it's entirely fake. But I will probably use this to bait some people into clicking on the stream. Here again, minor fill sitting next to his treasure. It is a nice effect though, so you can definitely use treasure to make an effect like that and make it look good. So this makes me wonder about the caves in Paxanima, because we've got lava in here, and the lava texture should now also be light emitting. And that's probably the last thing that I do on this stream, so we made some progress in some parts. Lantern block texture, emission in the shader fixed. Yeah, so much better, so much better. And we did the spruce tree texture. This is nice, this is nice. This feels realistic, shiny, just beautiful, beautiful lighting. Ice. Yeah, so here we have the lava cave. Let's move in here. That's decent. So we still need to texture the lava, of course. But at least it's glowing now. See, it's just like in the original game. And previously, all of these materials would look way too dark because they would not have that like light emission property set. So I'm happy with this. It was an unexpected improvement. Nice, 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 nice. Next wonder. Exile my east. Okay. Okay. Still, if we go inside, we can see some of the lanterns that work here. There. Pretty good. And again, we might want to introduce a bit of square root light fall off. But here, just with the light falling into the window, it's so realistic. It's so nice. Then we can also do Eclipsy, which has got a lot of, I think, light emitting materials here in the forest. So let's see what it feels like with crystals and stuff. Here there's a light patch on the tree. Closing rapidly though. There's a bit of crystal. Overall it's nice. It feels like a proper forest. The chest, the gold of the chest, the golden rim is now also light emitting.
Like that new treasure smell.
Much better.
Oh.
The lantern over there.
Anyone else notice that I'm becoming scary powerful?
Good stuff, good stuff. Violet Castle uses a lot of violet stuff. So the lanterns here, the symbiont pods, much better. Lanterns are very shiny here, very light. And this is ceramic circles. We probably want to take care of those sometime soon as well. Good, pretty balanced. I like it. That's good. So the this portion, emitted light or light emission, ambient light, specular light. Let's call it emitted light because we call the factor emitted. So LO is basically the specular thing. And then there's this tone mapping thing, which I don't really understand. I only know that if I enable this, you get a bit more dynamic range, but the image just gets a bit duller or something.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
See, everything, like you can call it tone mapping all day long, but it's just flat and dull. I don't like the effect. Like the highlights are maybe a bit better in their shape, but like all of the highlights are just gone, bro. Everything is just gone, bro. It just looks wrong, bro. Little bro don't want this. Like maybe the highlight on the roof is better. Like it's less blown out. But it's just, this is not what I like. So I disable this. Anyway, so emitted light, I think it's a big improvement having it like this. And I do want to add some rim lighting to it, but that's for another day, I believe. Basically the idea would be to make things look like they have light coming from the center. So it's more, it's got a bit more dynamic, a bit more of a dynamic to it, so that it helps you, it allows you to see the depth of the model as well, instead of only seeing that it emits light. But anyway, let's close this. I'm happy with the way that the lantern looks now in the game. It's rounded pretty nicely. The shading is more consistent with the other materials, so big improvement there. We did a nice spruce tree texture, which I'm happy with. Oh, let's not close all of the terminals here. Hey Niels, hallo. Niels, fijne feestdagen alvast. Goeie kerst. Morgenavond is het gewoon Angeldust live, als je wil komen kijken. Maar dit was de livestream van vandaag, was devstream. We hebben een boom gemaakt. Nou, ik kan het je even laten zien. Let's go. Niels is Dutch, so excuse me for speaking Dutch. I'm not sure if we have any English listeners at the moment. At all. Dankjewel Niels. Ik heb mijn kersttrui aangedaan met Mario erop. Ik ga nog 1 keer staan. Laatste keer vandaag. Check it out. Yeah. We've got Mario. De Mario kersttrui. Echt supergoed.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
Zo'n paar dingen die zijn veranderd. Als ik naar Counter with Devilia ga, standard fare, Count with Vigilia. See, we improved the texture. Let's call it improved. I improved the texture of the Christmas tree that's in the game. It seems apt for Christmas, the Christmas festive season. I think it looks pretty good. Like the macro is pretty good, the shape is nice, and the layering to it is nice. So we did that. We also made sure that the lanterns now give off light properly, so the lanterns are a lot brighter. They still adhere to the PBR lighting model, so that's entirely super cool. But they just have this new sheen to them. It just makes them much more realistic. And we also did the large lantern texture. I'm not sure if it's available in this build, but the large lantern texture. Oh, this just feels so good. Check this out. Just the way that the snow is piled up here to the right. I mean, you cannot tell me that this doesn't look super awesome, super cool with the violet lighting going on here. So there are no large lanterns here, which is a bit of a bummer, but we can go to a different build like Firefly, and here the texture is just like that, which is nice. So overall, some good progress. We did a lot of things, a lot of stuffs, which is good. And game looking sharp as ever. So where do we have colored lights? Come on, name me one more iconic build with the colored lights. Shall we just do one randomly? 33. Cinnabon Village. Okay, this might not have been the best choice. But at least you can see that the lantern does give off light, but also has a shadow. And Niels bought themselves a professional antenna. Okay, so pretty soon the police will be at your door again, saying like, Niels, please turn off the antenna. This is your first and final warning. I can jam up to 25 bands now. Never change. Bro, I just want to do it. I just want to... Treasure. More treasure. See? Oh, the glow. The glow of the treasure. I cannot resist it. I must have the glow of the treasure. And hopefully eventually we can add proper post-processing to this. That would be nice. But for now the fake effect is also very convincing. Game looking sharp here. Yeah, you know it, you know it. It may take a lot of time, but eventually we'll get there. Which is what she said. One more wonder, just for my man, for Niels, for the demo. Wonder number 19, Electrode, built by Angelio. You know this. Oh, there are colored lights in here. In fact, there's an entire building that's covered in red lanterns. So let's go in there. Roxanne, you don't have to put on a red light.
Hey, sweetheart.
Roxanne. It's pretty good. You can see that red lights in real life are maybe not the best for illuminating an entire room, but if you're going for a certain aesthetic, if you're going for a certain look, it can definitely add to the flavor. Anthony is back. Well, hello Anthony. I'm sorry to say, but I will be going very shortly now. But enjoy the lighting, like enjoy the light here. It's just so realistic and so good. One more, wonder number... We're doing it. One of the later ones, 27. We never go to 27. It's Equatoria, built by Rob12. You know this. There's a man riding a bear.
Been looking for this.
I came back to be able to say goodbye again. Lol. Yeah, indeed. You did. But I enjoy it. I'm glad you did, Anthony. Oh, we have some near the reactor. Maybe we can go near the reactor. There's a lot of light emitting stuff there. I also have no clue how to do the glass, but we'll find a way to do the glass. Here, see? These shards now give off light. They're so nicely colored and shaded. Seriously, I was being slightly sarcastic here, but Seriously, they are nicely shaded. This looks really good. Like, let's wait for everything to stream in. But just the way that the colors mix and so, it's really rich, it's really good. Rob, are you a genius? I mean, come on. Looking good. Yeah, this looks very sharp. Seriously. Initially I was like sarcastic, like, oh, the shading on it is really nice, but it looks really good. Come on, come on. So where do we go? These pipes, also golden pipe. Check out the super amazing round shading on them. Super good. So one more wonder. I don't know why, but I want to eat something. Yeah, it's lunchtime for me. Maybe that's the idea. Wonder number 18, San Valentin. Oh, we were just here, but that's just what we do.
Been looking for this.
Still, it looks so good.
Nothing like that. New treasure smell.
With the light emitting materials fixed now, check out earlier live streams to see what it looked like before. But this is just so much better. It's so much more cozy with things that actually give off light. And if we can add that rim lighting effect to it, so that it's like dependent on the angle to the camera, that might make it even more spectacular. I'm not sure how it would work if the material has got a texture, but it will just make it even better. Even better. Like, everything just looks pretty good. Of course, some things might look a bit crowded. I mean, the lantern does have a lot of contrast to it, because you have this very intense black steel rim, and then you have this super yellow light glass portion. Like the plaster, for instance, this texture is a lot more subtle. But it's just what you build, like it's what people have built, right? We've got the round bushes here, looking good. Some tweaks coming to that soon. Cyanogy, giving off light here. So this is water with cyanogy mixed to like the material cross shading here is pretty fun. It looks a bit like a Christmas tree or so. I like the colors, I like the effect that we get here. It's very rich. Thanks to all of that vapor money. You know? Spend that vapor money. Spend it all night long. It's so good, it's so good. We have more streaming in here. Some might say it's a bit rich, but it's pretty good. Last one we visit is number 28. Did we already do 28? Psychedelia. Oh, the perfect build to end this on. Because we have all kinds of psychedelic, light emitting, super fitting, mega city elements here. Check out the oasis of color here. And then the cyanogy over here, it's animated. And you just have these super rich, deep colors in there. See this? This looks really good. I'm looking at it on the small screen over there. Like, this feels like a liquid that illuminates things. It's just so good. The richness. The multiple spirals that are going on here. Wow. I want it. Oh, I already have it. I'm looking at it. Right here, right now. Good, good stuff, good stuff. We're in the water now. Alright, alright. Great progress today, even though I had nothing planned. It was just a random stream. I just improvised actually streaming, so that's good. Tomorrow evening is Angeldust Live with a bit of a Christmas theme to it. I will probably dim the lights slightly and we'll have a Christmas tree in view, hopefully. The small Christmas tree, hopefully the battery will still run for a few moments so that we can enjoy the lights. And it will be a cozy stream. Last year, that Christmas stream was just so cozy. With the lights off, or the lights low at least, it was just very cozy. I wanna repeat of that with the new studio lights and maybe some other tricks that I have up my sleeve. So thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the feedback. I will be having a lunch in a few moments, and let's just keep on working on this version of the game, make it the absolute best that we can. So far, I'm loving where we're going, so I hope all of you are happy as well. Back says bye. Back, I'll see you later. Hope you're back in the future. And all of you have some nice Christmas days, have a nice festive season. If I don't see you before the end of the year, enjoy your 2023 already. Best of wishes for that year. But hopefully we'll see each other again tomorrow or maybe next week. So stay cool, stay frosty, the snowman. Gracias, you're welcome all of you, and see you on the next live stream. Stay tuned on the channel, you will see it pop up. You will be online tomorrow? Cool, looking forward to it. See ya, see ya. So, thanks everyone, see you later, bye bye. There you go. So this was it. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I will close the stream here, and I will see you all in the near future. Bye bye.